Welcome back to Dom's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Dom Martino, and we are going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff. We got a Knights of the Old Republic remake coming up. We also have an Oscars recap. We're going to talk about that. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And then we also have Russell Crowe revealing his new role in the new Thor film. So that should be really interesting to talk about. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. Also, we just made our first TikTok. Go over to TikTok, follow us at Anorex. There's only one there, but it's fun to watch. But of course, I'm not doing this on my own. I am sitting here with Sammy Ramirez and Cisco Scartozzi. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Ready to talk movie shit like we do every week.
Yeah, me too. Okay. For sure. Let's do it. Should be fun. So, I gotta tell you what I watched. I haven't watched this in a long time. Speaking of movie shit, is the movie
Can I
maybe...
guess?
What's that?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Can
You
I
want to
guess?
guess? Yeah.
The first Mortal Kombat.
No. Good guess,
Okay.
though. It was a good guess.
All right, go ahead. That's it. That's all I got.
It's a fair guess. So I haven't watched this in a while. Cisco, you might have seen this. I'm going to take a guess of my own that Cisco has seen this.
What year?
Sammy has not. Oh, it's a good question.
I could guess. Or
Early
like
2000s. Probably early 2010s. Like early
okay,
2010s.
Then I probably have. So, okay, but I'll let you tell it.
Like it might have been 2010. But ready for this? Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story. I feel like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Many times.
Never heard of it in my life.
That's what I was going to say.
Never heard that name in my life.
My prediction was absolutely correct. That's Cisco seen it, and I actually would. I probably should have said that my prediction was Sammy's never even heard of it, and that I was thinking that in my mind. I was thinking that in my mind.
I actually just brought that movie up recently too. Funny enough.
Oh, really? Like on stereo?
No, because if you guys haven't seen Barb and Star, go to Vista Del Mar.
I haven't. I heard it was good though.
It's the funniest movie of this year. In 2021 so far. It's hilarious, and whenever I recommend it to people, because it's such a crazy movie that's really out there, I'm like, it's like Zoolander, Dewey Cox and Austin Powers meets Golden Girls. It's crazy.
What? No, I haven't.
Yeah, but that's like, it has that Dewey Cox like spoof humor in it. That's like, Dewey Cox is making fun of biopics. And it's hilarious. Like, because biopics, like Billie Holiday was really bad, and a lot of times it was falling into the trappings of typical biopic shit. And I was just thinking of Dewey Cox and like how he was like trying to get sober by going to rehab and stuff. It's like it's all in there. Everything that it's still to this day they're making bad biopics that Dewey Cox killed the whole genre to me. They did an amazing job.
Yeah, they did.
Produced. Great. There's just amazing cast in that movie too. If you haven't seen it,
the cameos are insane. I mean, Frankie Muniz is in there as Buddy Holly for crying out loud. Yeah. And I love this. I love the part when
the Beatles scene.
The Beatles scene is the best. Yeah. I love the part with Buddy Holly though, because he goes up there. Elvis Presley was playing, and Dewey Cox is supposed to follow him, and he's like, "How am I supposed to follow that up?" And then Frankie Muniz is like, "You could do it, Dewey, or my name's not Buddy Holly." It's
Ooh,
like what?
That's how you know it was 2000s though.
Yeah, because Frankie Muniz. But he did the most random cameo though, and then like I love Elvis.
I would say that's even earlier than 2010. That's like 2006.
Is it even that early? Wow.
I think so.
Yeah, it could be.
There.
You could be right. I mean, yeah, that's about the time that like John C. Reilly's career was really popping, and taking off. No, I love the way that they depict Elvis in that movie. He's just a fucking he came right out of the insane asylum. This guy, he goes up to Dewey and he's just like, and he's like, I'm the king.
Yeah.
God made two kings, and one of them's me. And then I love the whole thing where he's like, he's rushed. Look out, man! And then he goes up to like Dewey, and he's like, oh yeah, break a leg. And then he's like, thanks, Elvis Presley. And then he looks at Frankie Muniz, and he's like, what the fuck was he talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
So
this
true.
movie. I love that movie. It's one of the
That was
best.
like one of two movies when I was like living in the college dorm that me and my roommate had on deck. It was that movie and I had a bootleg of Django, and we played the hell out of both of those movies like over and over again on a loop. So like yeah, that movie's hilarious for me. Even like the Bob Dylan scene when Dewey has his Bob Dylan phase.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Everyone's
it's
like,
great.
what is he saying?
It's
I
great.
don't understand.
He sings this song in Bob Dylan style. It's a protest song, but it's about midgets. It's like
You have to see this movie. It's so good.
yeah, you really have to, Sarah. It's so good. I mean, the cast of the Beatles though, because you were bringing that up. You got Jack Black, you got Justin Long. Oh God, who's the one guy? He's in a lot of movies.
Paul Rudd.
Well, Paul Rudd's one of them. Yeah, Paul Rudd's John Lennon. And then George Harrison is Justin Long, and then Ringo is Jason Schwartzman. Is Ringo?
Schwartzman,
yeah.
And they're all fighting with each other.
Yeah.
And then Dewey's like, I don't think are the Beatles okay? It feels like they're gonna break up.
Yeah.
Because they're just bickering at each other the whole time. Fuck you! I'm the leader of this band.
Jack Black's like, what does he say? He's like, knock knock, who's there? Paul can suck my big fat cunt.
And they're doing like the worst Beatles impressions, but it's just hilarious. Like just to see them all do their version of Beatles.
Yeah. This is like a throwaway line where Paul Rudd, he's like, I remember when we met the Beatles, the 4 Beatles. It's just like the way he's doing it is so great. It's like it's so exaggerated.
He's like, can you ever imagine?
Yeah.
Imagine. The way he says imagine.
Oh
you
my
gotta
God.
see it. You gotta see it. It's great.
Yeah.
If you've seen one biopic and you think it's corny, you gotta watch Dewey Cox. Dewey Cox just shits on every biopic ever made.
He even goes
mainly Walk Hard and Ray.
You mean Walk the Line?
Walk the Line.
Yeah. But Walk the Line's like one of the best of them in my opinion. That's like, but it's still it gets a pretty good.
Ray, it makes fun of Ray too. And Ray's actually like one of the best too. But it's just you've seen so many knockoffs now that it's, like, it's so funny that Walk Hard was like called it that there was there's so many. It's such a known thing now that they do all these tropes of like this is the part where they get addicted to drugs, this is the part where they break up with the band, this is the part where they sell out to go on TV, like all that stuff. It's like so good.
I love every time he's like an idea comes to his head for a song, and I think his wife gets mad at him for doing drugs, and he's like, all right, I did drugs, I'm guilty as charged, and then he goes, guilty as charged. He's like, don't you dare write a song right now,
that's
Dewey.
The next single. Because that's how it is in the movies.
Yeah.
That's how it is in the movies. Like they just something happens and they're like, wait, that's a great song like idea. It's like,
yeah, he just gets this epiphany. He's like, I will walk hard, and then he just.
Kristen Wiig, who was also
Kristen Wiig
in,
was the
Walk
wife,
Hard,
right?
Is in Barb and Star. That's another reason why it's similar to me, because it's the same type of humor, dirty humor.
Yeah, that. Oh my God, that movie's so great. It's one of the best.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed though. My manager, I recommended to her, really highly recommended to her. She didn't like it, and I was like,
oh what?
I thought she would love Barb and Star, but she didn't. Oh well. It's like a very goofy, like Zoolander, like I said, type of. If you're not into those zany type of comedies, you might not like it. It might be too much for you. But it's if you do like those things, it's like you'll love it. You'll love it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we are gonna get into the Oscars recap, but first we have to talk about this fucking party first that we had.
Oh yeah, the party was great.
This shit made the night. I mean, all right. So So who was all there?
That whole video, man. I want just for.
It's in 2 videos. I'll see what I could do, but like, cause we didn't record it just to get some reactions, but, yeah. I mean, it was me, Sammy Cisco, Mark, and Adam, and it was just the time of my life. I mean, it was fun as hell. Like, I don't know, like it was funny to me because I think we went like from going, like, right after the show, we were all tipsy enough at that point, but we went, like, from talking, you know, shit about what happened at the Oscars to, like, for some reason talking crap about Hayden Christensen. Like, I don't remember how that even happened, but I do remember, like, transitioning from the...
I think because you played the song from...
oh, is that it? Like, the Duel of the Fates?
And then we just started going off about Revenge of the Sith got brought up, and we were just talking about that.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Like, I don't even remember that, but no, I remember talking about Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And we were just, like, throwing lines in, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Our favorite cringe lines.
Yeah.
Your new empire. Yes.
Yes.
This is coming back to me.
Sorry, master. But no.
That in your anger.
I knew we would come to this. The Jedi have taken over. I love that. But no, I mean
that for like a while.
Yeah, just the fact though.
That, but for like 5 minutes.
Right.
Like 5 minutes.
I mean, we made like we came up with the best drinking games ever. It was just a blast. But
it was a good time.
The highlight of the night was Mark. Mark was the highlight of the whole night because he was not watching the Oscars. He was watching Wicker Man and Mallrats.
So he just shows up and he's like,
specific.
I'm not watching.
He's specific. He's not watching the 70s classic horror film Wicker Man. He's watching the 2006 Nicolas Cage remake Wicker Man.
and
his drinking game was
a terrible movie.
And he loves it.
His drinking game. He had his own drinking game too.
I told him, I said, let me know whenever Nicolas Cage hits a woman in that, and I'll drink to it.
What was his drinking game, Sammy?
It is quite a lot.
Oh, was it that? Oh.
Yeah. I told him to do that to let me know, and then he joined along with me.
He complained the most about the Oscars, and he wasn't even watching the fucking thing. That's what amazed me
and
about it.
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. For some
he wasn't, but he wasn't even watching it, and I think he complained about it more than any of us.
What did he watch after Wicker Man too? Mallrats. He watched Mallrats.
Mallrats was on like already when we started the party, and then like he leaves for what I believe was a beer run. He said he had a phone call. I swear to God, he went to go get booze.
He left. Yeah.
Because he didn't have a drink in his hand until he got back. So I think he went on a beer run. He said he went to go make a call, but I think he went to get beer. And then he comes back.
I
mean, he didn't have a beer, he left, and then he came back and he suddenly had a beer. That's all I'm saying.
Come on.
It's just the facts, sorry.
But yeah, he was great. Just his commentary on Wicker Man, he would just update us. Oh, Nicolas Cage is on the island now. He's trying to find out what happened to that little girl.
We need to get him on the show. Mark. We need to get him back on the show. He hasn't been on in a long time.
He was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his commentary.
He's the wild card. He's the wild card for sure.
You gotta have a wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Cuts the brakes. Wild card.
That's Mark.
Charlie, that's not what a wild card does. Yeah, Mark is gonna be the wild card.
Oh my gosh. No, that's why we had him on that. Like, I swear our Last Jedi review took like 5 hours because Mark was there complaining. Like, that's what made it take 5 hours. Because we were able to get through about every Star Wars movie within, at least I would say, the duration of 4. Or 3 hours. Not 4 hours, 3 hours. And then we get Mark on The Last Jedi, and sure enough, it takes about 5. Because we're trying to, like, explain things to him.
Because of the rants.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like, clearly the movie just didn't make sense to him, and, like, so we're trying to explain shit to him. And then, like, and not only that, we had to, like, explain to him, like, how we do a movie review, which is, like, if you're gonna bring up a bad point about it, you have to actually make a point about the thing you don't like if you bring up something you don't like. And he didn't. He just kind of bitched. For like a long time, so that was what that was. But yeah, oh my gosh, that guy's a character.
So that was going on as we were watching the Oscars.
Yeah,
my Oscar feed was ahead of everybody else, so that was awkward because I knew who won before anybody else, and I could not react. I had to keep it, internalize it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So I kind of
a couple. Because yours was first, and then I would see it, and then Dom would see it.
That's so weird.
So like it would ripple. I know.
Feeds speeds.
So yeah, I kind of made a mental list of like all the things I feel like the Oscars need to do moving forward, and this is that. So number one, broadcasting, because clearly like there was something going on with the broadcasting of the Oscars. The fact that like everybody, because even Adam came in and then he was getting it a little bit behind everybody. So like I feel like the fact that everybody was getting it, because if it was like a second or two, okay. You know what I mean? But like there was clearly something going on. The fact that I've done stuff like this before with YouTube TV, and it's like I've never had this problem. So clearly there's something in the broadcasting department that really wasn't working. So that's one big problem, because it was like you know, you were getting at
dramatically different.
Right.
Dramatically,
Sammy would get it 30 seconds later, then I would get it 30 seconds later, and Adam might have been like maybe 5-10 seconds behind me or something like that. But still, the fact that it was just that, you know, crazy. Like, it's just, there was something in the broadcasting department that clearly wasn't working right. And, like, I even went up, I went in the other room, and it was on in the other room, too. And, it was even like, you know, I mean, even in the other room, it was, like, way behind. Even where I was. So it's like, yeah, there was something up with the broadcasting. So that's one thing they need to improve on. Thing number two,
for sure,
is structure. The show structure was a freaking mess. This whole entire Oscar ceremony was messy.
Starting with the ending.
Why did you have to change
Starting with the ending.
Just why did you have to? You shouldn't have changed it.
Okay.
Don't change it. It didn't need to be changed. Of all the things in American society that we need to change, the Oscars is not one of them.
Listen.
There are other things about the Oscars than the structure that we need to be worried about. The structure is fine.
Listen, so one thing I'll say, I liked that it ended early. I did like that, but
they tried to streamline stuff.
Yeah.
But once they started streamlining the in memoriam, and it was like 0.1 second for every person that died.
Right.
It just went downhill from there. Like, that was hella disrespectful.
That was the beginning of the end.
Somebody went
that too. As we were all watching the in memoriam, and we were like, I feel very disrespectful watching this because it was brutal.
And usually when that happens, they show scenes from select people,
right?
And that's like another larger problem me and Dom talked about yesterday. Is like, what happened to showing scenes from the movies?
Right.
Whenever they announced, like, instead they tried to replace that with like Laura Dern being like, when he was 7, he saw E.T.
Oh my
for the
God.
first time, and he loved it. And I was like, okay, that's a cute story.
Like, show some respect. Have some respect.
I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people that watch the Oscars don't watch all the movies. I'm a select few. I'm like 1% of people that actually watch everything.
They clearly did.
This is a perfect opportunity to show people, like, oh, that looks interesting. Maybe I'll watch it now. But like, they didn't give it any and then sometimes they did show clips, so it was like very weird and inconsistent. Like,
it felt like they had a plan, and that like the plan was going smooth. Not that it was a very good plan in the first place. There's still other problems that I have with the show, but it felt like whatever plan they had was at least going smoothly, and they were like, oh no, we didn't time this out right because we wanted to end at around 11:30 EST, and you know, they like sped it up right there at the end because it was because
very rushed at the end. Yeah,
they showed clips for everything up until the big awards. Then we didn't get clips all of a sudden. The in memoriam was started out at one pace, and it was like somebody hit the fast forward button on that thing.
And that's what I'm like. That's another way of honoring someone, is to show them in their work. And think about it, you could have had like Chadwick and like done clips for him. You could have picked any number of movies.
You could have ended with like Wakanda Forever. You could have ended on that. You know, that could have been the final thing.
Yeah.
But no,
it was weird. They ended with him, but like still no clips.
Well, Cisco, weren't you telling me that somebody went up to like Olivia Colman and was like, "We have to speed this thing up now," or something like that? Like a producer was like, "Okay."
I heard that.
So yesterday, that was I guess when I told you that, someone reported that, but now it's unconfirmed. I heard now that
is it unconfirmed or debunked? Because if it's not completely debunked, I still buy it.
No, it was just someone saying like he doesn't feel like it's true because he can't find any sources for it. So I don't want to put that out there.
I got you.
What I had told you and what I had read was that Olivia Colman was supposed to
accept the Oscar, which makes more sense
for Anthony Hopkins, because he was sleeping in his bed because it was like 4 a.m. in London.
He's an 83-year-old man.
And he's 83 years old, and there's a pandemic going on. So I do not blame Anthony Hopkins for any of that. But a lot of people say that they don't think that was true. And then you know, it went back to Joaquin Phoenix, and he seemed like he like rushed through it. So like, I don't know what the plan was. I don't think anyone knows, or if the Oscars know, they're not trying to like release it and make themselves look any dumber than they are. Right now. But
and I was telling you yesterday, I missed the entertainment.
It looked like they didn't know what they were doing. Like they just ended it. It was very abrupt.
Yeah,
and it just. Yeah, ended like someone said. It ended like a wet fart, and
really
just petered out. Right.
It's just petered out. Exactly. No, I mean seriously, it did.
What the fuck?
But yeah, really. I mean, I feel like like I missed the entertainment.
They definitely
kicked the toilet. That's for sure. That was a real kick in the toilet there. Let me tell you.
Talk about her kick in the toilet. My God.
Yep. Toilet on that one.
I'll tell you what, I love that the cup, Sammy. That's a really cool cup.
Thank you, me too. It's Luke, Maul, Vader, Kenobi, like the faves.
Yeah.
You just got you got the all-star.
It's like the Hall of Fame.
It's awesome. It's amazing. I love that.
I'm gonna show the Kenobi's probably my favorite. The heel face out.
All right. But
hello there.
Yeah,
hello there.
Hello there.
Every time he pops up.
Every time.
Hello there.
In my head.
Perfect.
Well, no, I wanted to mention, like, I like that it ended early, but I also missed the entertainment. Like, I know that, Cisco, you were like, you liked the musical numbers being in the pre-show. I didn't like it. I think that they should have, like, pushed that a little bit more. Like, okay, if you're going to want to see the musical numbers, you got to watch the pre-show. Like, the pre-show is a part of the show. If you want the entertainment, you got to see the pre-show. They didn't really give a push for that. They were just like, this is the Oscars. And it's like, why? Why isn't it a show anymore? Where's Tina Fey and Amy Poehler to make jokes? Like, something. Right. It's not a show anymore. And I know that there's been complaints over the years, you know, about like a lot of fuck ups and things like that, but like watching it this year without all the fuck ups and things, not that there was none, obviously, but I'm saying like without some of that stuff, it was so dry. It's like part of the charm of the Oscars is, you know, leaving room for people to screw up and things like that. And like without them this year, it just felt so dry. And I miss the show. I miss the show. I want the show back. And I think that sucks. I don't mind them not having a host. I think it gives a lot more people room to do things. But it's like if you did a little bit more like last year, and I understand not everything could have been like last year. I get that. But I think that if you would have just like kept the structure the same, it might have, you know, played a lot better. I don't know, but that's just me.
Yeah. So we talked about this yesterday on Stereo, and you guys can go check that out on either of our Stereo accounts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I disagree on both things because, the music thing is just a thing I hate about the Oscars in general. Like, I don't like the music categories because it's meaningless, and like they just use it to get people to watch the Oscars, but like, you know, the songs barely have anything to do with the movies majority of the time. So far, the only one I've seen that is the song is a major part of the movie is the Eurovision song. Every other song plays during the credits, and they're just so forgettable, and like, you know what I mean? And as for the performance, it's just like, I had completely forgot Eminem performed last year because it made no sense, and they just threw it in there, and it's like, yeah, people like Eminem.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. You're like, oh man, this is bad. You know what I mean? That's part of the fun of it. And like the mess ups this year just seemed like it was undermining the actual movies and performances themselves, rather than mess ups that you can go, oh god, there they go again. Oh, those Oscars. You know what I mean? They felt like the way that they messed up this year was a lot worse than just, oh, there they go again. You know, just like, you know, we'll let it go though because it's the Oscars. I thought that this felt incredibly dry without all that, and I think that, you know, there definitely had to be more comedy acts, things like that. I miss the show. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really miss it. But yeah, and like for the host thing, like I didn't mind last year I didn't have a host, but I feel like this year you could definitely feel like how you're saying, like the show part of it, it just felt like there was no, it just felt kind of aimless, like there was no like point to it. No, it didn't feel like elaborate. It just felt like, oh, now we're gonna do this category now. And I guess my point is, like, I don't know if I can blame that on there not being a host or just the fact that it was just a mess in general. Like, I guess I would have had to, like, I would almost have to see this with a host.
The host helps with that. The host helps with that because it goes back
to
it does.
Host,
and then he goes, and now we're gonna do this, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's so it's like without that, it's just like we don't know what's to expect, and
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Random. And so I don't know. I kind of feel like I hope next year, like, okay, someone said The Rock should be the host. Why don't they do that?
Yeah,
that's such an easy fucking pick. He's charismatic. Everybody loves The Rock, and they can do it. Yeah, I want to see someone like that. They can have someone that hasn't done it yet.
It doesn't have to be The Rock.
They can crush it.
It doesn't have to be The Rock. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel did it 2 years in a row, and he was great. Jimmy Kimmel was one of the best hosts they had. I mean,
you just have to have charisma and be likable
and funny, and funny to know how to to handle yourself
and read the room. Be able to read a room.
You have to be on the fly.
That's why comedians are usually. Yes. That's why comedians are usually so good, because they can adjust and read the room.
Or bad. Sometimes they really screw up though. Yeah.
They have a plan and it goes AWOL, you know?
Yeah, no, I think you just have to be television friendly enough, and then you just got to know how to kind of save a situation. One of my favorite things about Kimmel when he was hosting is if we had a mess up the thing that happened at the end, which we'll talk about, if Jimmy Kimmel was there, he would have made a joke about it afterward. You know what I mean? He wouldn't.
That's what I missed.
What I
missed, because the Honest Trailers did an Honest trailer about the Oscars and making fun of all the movies, and it's when you have a host, that's what they do. And it's funny because it's even though there's a lot of serious movies, you could still poke fun at it, and you can take the self-serious air out of the Oscars. I think that's the main problem with the Oscars is they're this high society of rich people that are trying to pat themselves on the back, but then at the same time they're trying to appeal to the majority of America that doesn't watch or give a shit about most of these movies. And it's there's always that just weird tightrope balance of they never can get it right. So yeah, the pre-show was very cringy and bad. I will say that with the music performances, but I feel that's more on the people interviewing more than the actual performances.
Why don't you do this? Why don't we do this? This is just a suggestion. When the Oscars start, for the folks that do want to watch the musical performances, because I've heard other complaints about it, right? For the folks that want to watch the musical performances, they're all just crammed into the beginning. So that way everybody knows, and you promote it that way too. So that way everybody knows, okay, they're going to do music for a while. We can kind of drink and mingle a little bit longer.
Last time they did, didn't they open with Bohemian Rhapsody?
Well, they usually open with a number. But my point is, put them all in the beginning. That way everybody, make that the new tradition. That way everybody...
You should either always open with a musical number or a really bomb skit.
Yeah.
That's how you open it. That's the only two ways you can ever open an award show. Musical number or really good skit that fits into your monologue.
My pushback
Any other way, it's not. It's a lot.
But my pushback on that is I really like the Regina King entrance this year, because that was one of the benefits. That was one of the highlights. So I don't know if that is how you have to open it. Yeah.
We were all excited.
That was
that
really
moment.
cool.
I caught that.
Especially since it was taking place at a different location, I thought that was a really good way to show you where. I love the location. They said
it was cool.
While watching it, I was like,
location was cool.
I love how they're in the lobby of
the
station.
Definitely
a lot more intimate. I like the lighting.
Yeah, it was
wonderful.
Oh, it was great.
That was the perfect way to establish location, I guess, in some terms. That was wonderful. I love that.
Definitely one of the highlights was location. I mean, the actual aesthetic itself, the filmmaking aspect of it, that was good, because the way it looked, I had no problems with the way it looked. So don't get me wrong here. It's but it seems like they focused so many of their resources to make it look great that they didn't put any effort into what was going on inside it, and that was my biggest problem. At least after after the first half hour, because again, I think we all agree the first half hour started great. They were off to a great start.
Yeah,
and
they got us in the first half.
Yeah,
they really got us in that first half. I will say.
Yeah,
and good for a while.
I like that.
Maud Fennell got her win.
Yeah,
and, there's a lot of it was quite predictable, but still good wins, and then the memoriam hit.
Do some stuff, do that. Maybe you should do do it like the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Like, have a halftime show, something. Like, do, like, all these awards, you could cram them together, then put, like, a halftime show in there, you know what I mean? Something, like, maybe all the people who were nominated for music can come together and do, like, a mashup type musical number, you know what I mean? Or something. Like, I just think, I think they needed something there in the middle, or, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Instead
the
of...
number in the number in the middle of the show, I think it might have been the Emmys, but there was one year Neil Patrick Harris hosted something.
I think it was the Emmys.
He did the Emmys, I think.
And he did this huge musical number in the middle of the show called
That's awesome.
The Number in the Middle of the Show.
See, that's awesome.
So,
like, do something like that.
Do that.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, this is, I guess, my point, Cisco. I guess it doesn't have to be, like, the actual, like, song nominees or whatever, but they need something there. It's like, it's got to be something to make it feel like a show. It just didn't feel like a show anymore.
To feel like so often to me it just feels like I'm like, we have a music show, it's called the Grammys. If you want to watch live performances there,
right,
you can go watch the Grammys. And so for them to put Eminem last year, everyone was just scratching their heads like, why the fuck is Eminem there? It's so random.
If you're,
so it's like, I feel like that would happen again this year if it's like, you know, The Weeknd shows up or something, and it's like, okay, like, what does he have to do with movies?
No, it didn't have to be The Weeknd. Like, you make it obviously make it movie centric. Like, the way that they, like, opened with Bohemian Rhapsody obviously made a lot of sense, and that was a great performance. That was like one of the better performances in the Oscars. And I'm not disagreeing with you that sometimes when we're doing number after number after number, it can drag. I'm not disagreeing with that either. I'm saying, if you want to really condense it,
a lot of these songs are memorable to me. That's why it sucks to me, because I'm just like, I don't like these songs.
Yeah, but sometimes
in these movies,
I don't know. Like, sometimes it really works though, because, like, I mean, like when the girl did How Far I'll Go for Moana, or like again the Bohemian Rhapsody thing.
Or something, you get like 4 like just snoozers.
And I don't disagree with that point. I don't disagree with that point. Don't get me wrong. I don't, because like I agree with you.
There have been some really great Oscar songs.
There has been.
There have been some really like iconic. Like,
Oh,
how about this?
ones.
How about whoever wins the category goes up and performs? Like, everybody is prepared with one, but whoever wins it is the one that gets it.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
You know,
that's pretty fair.
Yeah. Because usually the one that wins is the best one, typically, except this year. I'll be honest, this year it wasn't the case. I thought Speak Now should have won.
Not that great.
Yeah, Speak Now should have won.
Yeah.
I didn't think any of the songs were that great, to be honest. But
I love Speak Now. Speak Now is great. I think that's.
Yeah. I mean, not to get political, but like it really kind of felt like they were like, we're gonna have to pick one of the powerful end credit songs to one of the, you know, historically black
and
movies.
Like I said, none of them,
so
none of the songs had any impact.
That's what it felt
for the
like.
Eurovision movie, which
That's
is about songs. And that song is a banger too, by the way. Like, I just watched that. That is a banger. Like,
so Sammy, I haven't heard like
comedy. They would never win. It would never win.
Sammy, I mean, you've been chiming in, but I haven't really heard your overall thing. Like, you're smart. You're smart. How do we fix the Oscars? How do we fix the Oscars, Sammy?
Here's the thing: you keep Best Picture last, first thing foremost.
That's
when planning
easy.
the
That's
Oscars,
so easy. Why not?
You do not touch the placement. In my perfect world, you would do the last couple of categories. It would go adapted screenplay, original screenplay, director, and then actor, actress, picture. In my perfect world,
well, I like that. I like that Promising Young Woman won first, though. Like,
that is cool. That is
the
cool.
beginning. You gotta put some. You gotta put some of the main categories first, so to get people hooked in. Which I thought they did a good job of this year.
It's. I say that because part of the reason is like those I feel like are the most. Are like the biggest wins. So like the people who win them by them
definitely
being at
director
the end,
and picture.
They are
director and picture needs to go last. Like,
and I think actor and actress. I think those should be the last 5.
Yeah.
Because I think every single person who wins those awards should be like highly celebrated for the rest of that night. Like those are the 5 groups of people who like those teams are the ones who are gonna party until 8 a.m. the next morning.
Sure.
So I think, and by having them last, you give them that spot. You're like, we recognize that you are like the most important people here, I guess, kind of thing. Because I mean, it's that those are the faces of the best movies of the year. So you do that number 1.
Right.
That's first and foremost.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, so let's talk about the mess up then, or not. I mean, okay, so
I've kind of been dancing around the elephant in the room.
Right. So
the father in the room.
So
around the father in the room.
So
we have to talk about him.
My favorite take on this is that someone said Soderbergh intentionally fucked with the order because he wanted it was an ode to the father, which is about disorientation and a guy with dementia not knowing what's going on. Like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Right.
I won.
Right.
And then just cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's
This
my.
is the biggest flub since 2017.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's my.
It might be even worse. I argue even worse.
Here's my
Good
take on
money,
this.
too.
Here's my take on this. So if you, I think we both learned a lesson. The Oscars and the audience, like, because I think
We all
that
don't know shit.
you're right.
That was the lesson.
And we both kind of learned the same. Yeah, exactly. Like we never
I
know
thought
who
Chadwick was a lock. They did too,
Yeah.
but I thought he was locked. in
exactly.
there.
So we got to learn the lesson. Like just because they die doesn't mean it's a lock.
No shit.
We don't know shit.
No one knows
That's
shit.
right. And
Yeah.
the thing is at the end of the day, Hopkins deserved his award. Like, I don't want to take that away from him. He did. He had a great performance, and if the Academy felt that way, then that's cool. My problem is, and we've talked about this, the structure.
Mm-hmm.
They put it at the end. They were like, Joaquin walked away with Hopkins' award. I'm sure he's still being hunted down now. And he was
He
like,
had to have had an Uber ready. Like he had a car parked outside and just walked straight to it and went home.
yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joaquin looked like he did not want to be there at all.
he was like, I'm going home to Rooney Mara. and
Which,
I'm
to be
gonna
fair, that's
eat
how he
and
looks
go to
like
bed."
in every interview or anytime he's
Yeah.
on TV. So
He looks great,
Yeah.
by the way. He looks
Looks great though.
better than he
Sure.
did last year, and he didn't look like he was drinking, that's for sure. He looked
Seemed to be in like a better place.
he looked a
yeah.
little more together, seemed a little more
Yeah.
together. He was smiling, he was happy, he was really thrilled to be there this year,
I'll
but
give you that.
a
That's
little
true.
bit more
he
thrilled
didn't go on a
anyway.
speech about cows and saving the cows.
Yeah.
You guys remember that when he won for the
Oh,
Joker?
how could I
For
forget,
Joker?
man?
Yeah.
Yep.
Both the Golden
That
Globes
was
and the Oscars, he went off book, but we were ready for it too. We had our
Clearly.
drinks ready. We were like, okay, Joaquin goes off book.
Yeah, we were ready. That
But
was one of our things we were drinking too. Was like if anybody goes off the rails slash makes a political speech
Statement.
Yeah.
Then we drank.
statement.
Which
is
they
Joaquin
kind of
came up and we
Regina
were
King.
like, we're ready.
Regina King kind of did one at the beginning and kind of was like,
little bit,
that
yeah.
was it. That was it. She like covered it for the night.
yeah.
She laid like,
which I thought was
we
smart, too.
understand
Right.
everybody.
Because people get turned off on the Oscars for being so like political and stuff
Right.
all the time.
Right.
But yeah, it was definitely a flub. They wouldn't have had to deal with that flub had they not changed the order around.
Yes, 100%. And I hope they learned the lesson. I don't think it'll happen next year. Next year they're going to put Best Picture back at the end, I
Because if
hope.
they would have just left it, had them do Best Actress, Actor, and then
Yeah.
Picture, yes, it would have been awkward, but they would have cut to commercial most likely. There would have been a 2-minute breath. Everybody in the room could have had a moment.
Yeah.
And then Best Picture and end with Chloe Zhao amazingness.
Yeah.
But we
And I don't
couldn't have
blame
that. We
I don't
couldn't
blame
even have that.
Soderbergh completely because it's like I understand he was trying to, like he does with his films, experiment, do things differently to get people to watch the Oscars because they get bored with the same thing every year. I get that. Some of it I liked. I liked that they put the music beforehand. I liked that they weren't playing people off during their speeches. That I think that some of the speeches were boring and maybe some of the categories like the shorts should be beforehand as well. That I think they could have done that too and maybe streamline the show a little bit because it still was over 3 hours.
Yeah,
I
but
think that I miss a host.
yeah, but don't you think they
I
were
think
speeding
that
up
might have
the
helped.
don't you think they were speeding up the speeches at the end? I think they were tipped off to like make your speeches quicker because like Frances McDormand got up there and was up there for 5 seconds.
That's because she had already won for Best Actress, so I felt like she already had
Yeah, I
said
feel like
everything
that's
she needed to say.
Right.
So then when she won again for Nomadland, she kind of was just like, well,
Me again?
I won again.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
but
mean,
yeah.
the
They need
real
more fun
thing
for
though.
sure. They need more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And,
Because
like,
the Glenn Close
yeah.
moment was the most fun of the night, and that was
Yeah.
like the only
What the
highlight
hell?
fun moment.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's where the host comes in. The host provides fun. He goes into the crowd. Sometimes they do skits.
Yeah.
Sometimes they bring like people outside in. Like I remember that moment was fun. That
Yeah.
one time, I think Jimmy Kimmel did that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So they needed something like that. But I do appreciate Soderbergh trying to do
Yeah.
something different because we can't just keep doing the same Oscar shit
Yeah.
every year because
Like-
it gets stale.
Like when Jimmy
It does.
Kimmel
When Yeah.
Like when Jimmy Kimmel like invited like the pizza delivery guy over. That's amazing. Do stuff like that.
Funny.
That was hilarious.
Was that Ellen? That might have been Ellen.
Might have been Ellen, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Still.
Take the air out of the Oscars. Take the stuffy air out of the Oscars. That's what you need to do. That should be your goal of the night.
Yeah.
That's the point of a great opening monologue. It's kind of like, I don't know, I think about it like bubble wrap. Like you have to like untighten the bubble wrap a little bit to get everybody loose and comfortable.
Yes.
So
I think as the night went on,
it starts, everybody's like also
as the Glenn Close,
people,
the Glenn Close moment was a little later. I feel like you could tell they were getting a little tipsy and looser, that's another thing I always look forward to.
They
as the
seem to have
Oscars,
drinks.
like they drink. Yeah,
right.
they drink.
They were at tables.
They get a little loose, and you can get moments like that, which is fun.
I'm sure they
but
were
like even the speeches
like,
were kind of a letdown this year. There really wasn't any great other than
Yo Jong-un. Yo Jong-un was the speech of the night. She was amazing, and that's obviously another highlight. It's like
Daniel
one of the biggest ones. Yeah, he was good. He was good. He was good. Yeah.
My mom and dad had sex.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah, he had a good one too. No, 100%. And I'm glad that he won too. I really am. I think that he was amazing in the movie. He deserved it, but yeah.
I will say that the big thing is though, when Best Picture was announced, when it was in the placement, we all were like, our jaws went to the floor.
Right, we were like,
we knew they were missing those categories.
Right,
exactly, because
we were like, wait, what?
Yeah, but then pretty much immediately we were like justifying it, and we were like, literally, what the hell goes on in your brain to think that not putting Best Picture last is okay? And we were like, oh, it's because for some reason they know that Chadwick is gonna win.
Obviously Chadwick's gonna win, so that would be cool.
The thing is, the thing is, if he would have won, it would have been a beautiful moment, and a lot of people, a lot of people, probably myself included, would have actually very much enjoyed that, would have liked the choice. So again, it's like they just put all their chips in one corner, where if it paid off, it would have been amazing. But it's the fact that he didn't win. Anthony Hopkins wasn't there. They closed the show out immediately. That his widow had to sit through this whole show for nothing. That they put it last to hype you up for it, and then just falls flat. It was the combination of all of that.
It would be like putting the halftime show of the Super Bowl last after the game, and then the game gets canceled because it gets rained out or something, and then they can't perform. It's like, why would you...
And Sammy, I told you this, it might have either been the pre-show or another time we were talking about the Oscars here, but I definitely remember mentioning this to you, Sammy, when I said I actually had a feeling there might be an upset. Remember? I said that initially, and then I said, but the cool thing about that is that they'll be able to get up there and they'll say, this is for Chadwick. You know what I mean? That's why I said, don't be surprised that there's an upset, because there were a lot of good performances in that category, but they'll be able to get up there and pay tribute to him, and they didn't even get to do that. That was bullshit.
Because if they had kept the structure, then I feel like Olivia Colman or somebody, probably Olivia Colman, would have just given a quick little acceptance speech for him. Or probably would have made a joke that he's in bed right now or something, and then move on.
Joaquin shouldn't have been the one to present that. You need someone who, again, is good if something happens like that in that situation.
Well,
Joaquin is not. You need someone that's gonna, if no one's there to present, we accept this, Chadwick, this is obviously to you, we love you, blah 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 blah. Then gracefully go out, something to like ease the fire, because the way they handled it was just shitty. It was really shitty and felt very like,
disrespectful.
We kind of talked about this. It was very disrespectful. We talked about this yesterday too, about like, just because you died doesn't mean that you have to win.
No, it doesn't.
In 2008, when Heath Ledger died, and everyone kind of agreed like he has to win now.
Right.
It's a great performance. He has to win now. I felt like everyone had that same reaction this year. They had set the precedent in 2008, and then to not give him that, and to have like, you know what I mean, someone win the Oscar over him, and
what's really really upsetting.
Go
ahead, Sammy.
What I think is just really, really upsetting about that is that also like a lot of even the people who were like Anthony Hopkins could win, or thinking that he might not get the Legacy Award, or that he hasn't earned it, or something, that even people who were saying that or thinking that had to be like, but his performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was incredible. It is an Oscar-winning performance.
Part of the movie.
Right, but what we're seeing,
it was still justified. You could still vote for him on the qualifications of him being the best actor.
You can, but I think
So it was like, why wouldn't you then vote for him? It qualifies as the best actor performance, and it adds a legacy performance, and to highlight a black man that prominently
the racial
in the
aspect
community.
is very
Why
glaring
wouldn't you
as
vote
well.
for him?
For sure.
The Oscars has a really bad track record with that.
For sure, but I
Because
think,
they did it
but
for Heath, not for Chadwick. That's a fact that we live
but
with now.
but hold on, I think but the one thing I'll say, and I'm not defending the action, I'm saying what I think that we're seeing, what we're seeing a result of.
People didn't vote for him.
Well, they didn't, but I think what we're seeing as a result of is, I'm sure that there are a lot of good people that vote in the Academy, and I'm sure a lot of them said, you know what, I'm going to cast my vote for Anthony because I liked his performance better.
Everyone else I know is going to vote for Chadwick.
Right, and when enough people think that, then it's like, that's the mindset that you go in. I'm not saying that, is that right or wrong? I don't know. But I'm saying that I think that that's what we were seeing a result of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because I at least for people who are really good people in there, you know what I mean? I'm not saying nobody in there is a racist asshole. There probably is some old fucks that are. But I'm saying that, you know, I think that for the most part.
That was the mindset. The mindset was like, well, everybody I know is going to vote for Chadwick. And Anthony Hopkins was incredible. So I'm going to give him the vote just because I love
That's probably part of it. Yeah.
And I mean, Anthony Hopkins' performance was amazing, and I don't want to downplay the fact that he is the oldest person to win an Oscar. That's a big achievement as well. But
deservedly, that performance blew my.
This is not Anthony Hopkins' fault. He was really classy. That video he put out the next day was phenomenal. It was a great video when he came out and he was like,
you could really tell that he was shocked. You could really tell that he woke up.
He didn't think he was gonna win.
No, that's exactly why he didn't show up, and he was very genuine about it. You could tell that he was like, I want to pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman. This is not a fault of Anthony Hopkins, and I know how people get in the comment section. I want to make sure that they're not going to be like, oh yeah, Anthony Hopkins didn't deserve that. No, he did. It's just that I don't want to downplay that it's a big achievement for Anthony as well, on top of, you know, just saying that, you know, this is like what the Academy was thinking, you know, and we know that's what they were thinking. Come on, I mean, why else wouldn't Chadwick had won? I mean, it's the fact that they were thinking like, oh, I bet you everybody else will vote for Chadwick, so I'm going to cast my vote honestly, and I think we saw a result of that, you know, and I think we saw a result of enough people just thinking that same way, unfortunately. But if they genuinely liked the Hopkins, you know, performance better, I don't think that we should take away their right to vote for him. You know what I mean? No. That's the other thing. So how do we deal with that? I don't know.
They have every right to vote for him, but it's also like the Oscars has set this precedent before with the Legacy Awards, not just with Heath Ledger, but let's give it to him because, you know, this is probably going to be, he's getting old and we never gave him an Oscar, so now we're going to do it to him.
Right.
And so they've set the precedent, and so when they're inconsistent and it comes to like a person of color or with Chadwick who died,
true,
aspect of it raises questions.
It does.
Like, this is only a few years after the Oscars so white thing, so the Oscars does have a race problem.
It does. It always has. Always has.
Getting better. But like, it's crazy that I said yesterday, it's almost 100 years of Oscars and we're still doing first Asian woman to win an Oscar.
But
second woman ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. But like I'm saying, in this particular Oscars, and again, I had a lot of problems with this particular Oscars, so don't think I didn't. But I'm saying, like, in this particular show, I think the love was spread amongst diversity more than it ever has been, in my opinion, in terms of who won awards.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for me to say that this is a result of racism. It's hard for me to just go out there and play that card. I know that it's going to raise questions, and I understand why, but it's hard for me to just immediately play that card. Because it's like, you know, is it that, or, you know, did they just genuinely think that Heat's performance was the best one that year? Is that just the way the Academy voted? And I think that part of that is our mistake for just thinking that that's how it was going to be. You know, I think that part of the anger is kind of our mistake, too, for just thinking that that's how it would be every time. Chadwick Boseman's performance was great. It's not my personal favorite performance of the year. Am I racist? No, it just wasn't my personal favorite performance of the year. It wasn't Anthony Hopkins.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And we have precedent to point to race as a weird factor for it, because they've done that way before.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, white people have not been the best actors, best movie, best director for 100 years. That's not true.
Yeah.
But like, because they've set that precedent and it's inconsistent now, it's like, you know, people are gonna say that.
Yeah.
And it's like they have every right to think that because Why not? Oscars have not been consistent.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
I will never get a chance to honor
Yeah.
Chadwick ever again.
And I get that. And I get how upsetting that is.
Lifetime Achievement Award. It's gonna be.
No.
Oscars looks bad on all counts.
No, I don't want to take away how upsetting that is either. Like, I'm upset about it too. It's just, I think that at the end of the day, if it was me up there, I wouldn't have casted my vote toward Chadwick. I got to be honest. If I was in the Academy, I wouldn't have done it either. And I don't feel like
they did it, and they didn't. They did
right.
Not vote for
and I don't feel like that makes me racist. I wouldn't have voted for Hopkins either. But that's I was a Riz Ahmed guy.
Oh, Riz Ahmed, okay.
That's who I would have voted. And I actually thought he was going to be the upset because I told Sammy that. I said I feel like there's going to be an upset that year. I was right about that. I wasn't right about who, So I figured I actually felt like there was going to be an upset, but on the same hand, but then when it came down to our pre-show, I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what, it'll probably be Chadwick. So I just feel like it's our mistake for just assuming that's who the Academy likes the most. And I don't know. But I get why it's upsetting. I get why it raises questions. I don't know how you particularly move past this or, go on next year. I mean, they're going to have to address it next year at the very least or say something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there has to be something said about it or somebody's going to have to be a little bit more transparent.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. With the
weirdness too, it's like,
wouldn't surprise me.
Moonlight Flub didn't get to, for a gay black person, didn't get to accept or make a speech that year because they're fuck up.
Yeah.
Parasite, when they won, they tried to turn the lights down on them on accident, but it fucked up for an Asian minority to win Best Picture.
Right.
And this year, they ended on a fucked up note, and Nomadland did not get to celebrate. So it's like, I don't want to be the one to say it, but it's like, this shit is weird.
It is happening a lot. It is happening a lot.
And you're not taking any measures
to
change your behavior. It's like,
I'm not saying that
baby steps. It's baby steps, and it's like, I don't know. Y'all need to do better.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not fishy. No, I'm not saying it's not fishy at all. I'm saying that there could be some inside job for sure. You know what I mean? Like there could be some inside job.
They just took a gamble with that guy's legacy, and I don't like that. That's very disrespectful.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. That point I agree with. That was one of the dumbest bullshit. I don't know who made that decision. Mistakes I've ever heard or ever seen. It was ridiculous. But I think that on the same hand, there needs to be transparency. There needs to be transparency from the producers on this situation in particular if they want to save their asses at all. And I don't disagree with Sammy that they probably won't. I don't disagree with you, Sammy. They probably won't say shit. But if they want to improve their ratings, I don't know why. This is the other thing that really irritates me. I don't understand why they don't address these types of things. You know what I mean? If they really want to get the ratings up, then come out and have some transparency. I say this about a lot of companies in Hollywood, but like the Oscars especially are like terrible at just being transparent about what's really going on over there. Why does the voting system have to be this big secret thing? I hate that. I hate that they have to make it this big secret. I know you could research how to do it, but I hate that it has to be this like secrecy of like, oh, you got to like really do some research to understand how we vote here. Fuck that. Come on, man. It's like just do the majority rules. Like don't make it so complicated.
They don't want to expose themselves because they know the results would look bad and make them look bad.
But how would their ratings be if everybody understood how the race worked and can keep up with it? Like imagine how much higher their ratings would be. That's what I'm trying to understand here, because if there was transparency in a lot more departments within the Oscars, their ratings would be a lot higher. This is a show that doesn't get pushed hard enough. It's a show that has messed up every single year, it feels like, big time. Like Cisco was saying, it seems to be like it almost makes it seem like it's a race play, and it raises questions. I don't want to just accuse them of making those plays, but it just every single year it feels like there's a play that's like a race play, and it's like, quit doing this. Just be transparent. Is this a race play? Is it not? I mean, if it is a race play, clearly they don't want to admit it, but like have more transparency here, because
the Oscars so white thing, they try immediately to take steps, which they should.
That's good. That's good, and it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with them taking steps to improve it, but there's a thing that there's I'm trying to think how to explain this.
They also need to be better at honoring just outside of the race thing, other genres. We talked about this too yesterday, Dom. Like,
Yeah.
you know, horror movies. You know, Elizabeth Moss, one of the best performances of last year in Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Not honored. The visual effects in that movie. The visual effects is the entire movie. Not honored. Superhero movies.
Yeah.
You know, Birds of Prey, incredible makeup, hair,
I agree.
Costume designs. Why is that not
Yeah.
nominated? Because it's a superhero film. The movies that people watch, they don't nominate. So then why would people watch the Oscars? Because they
Right.
haven't seen most of these films.
Well-
it's like you're fucking yourself by doing that. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like,
that's a different conversation too, though, a little bit. I mean, it's the same conversation for sure in terms of your.
they want people to watch the Oscars, but they won't take steps to,
Well,
you know what I mean,
in-
to put movies out there that people like.
in principle,
I felt like
you're
Borat
correct.
could have been Best Picture.
But-
Borat, you know what I mean? Why
Right.
wasn't Sasha nominated for Borat? That's an incredible performance.
Right. No, I
Could have been
agree.
nominated as well.
I agree, but I'm saying that like I think that's a okay. My point for me, and this is it's a subjective thing. I think is what it comes down to, because my point to, the thing that I would say about it is that there a lot of the times the Best Picture nominees I end up liking more than the blockbusters I see that year anyway. That's just me. So I don't know if that's like how they feel. I don't know if that's a play to like.
I don't know, man. I can't. When Infinity War came out, that was my favorite movie of that year.
It wasn't mine.
Not nominated. Not even. I
Yeah.
don't even know if it was for visual effects or anything like that.
See, it wasn't
but-
mine. There were multiple movies I liked more, and a lot of them were Best Picture nominees.
but
Infinity
other than
War
The
was
Dark
a,
Knight. You think that's justified that other than The Dark Knight, no superhero movie ever gets nominated for anything like for other than like
Yeah.
visual effects if they're lucky?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean-
Logan was my favorite movie that year that came out. Not nominated for any big awards.
well,
that year.
Logan was a snub. I won't argue with you on that one.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Logan, I think, was a snub. But that's a subjective opinion, though. It's like, if they genuinely like those
These
movies
superhero
better,
movies
then they
are
should
amazing.
nominate them.
Why are they not?
Because
getting
maybe
respected?
they don't like them as much as you do. I mean, I hate to give
But
out that
that's the
harsh
problem.
reality.
Remember, we're talking about the Academy.
Right.
We're talking about mostly over 60
Because they don't want to say like these movies are below us. That's what they're saying.
No,
by
it's
doing
not that. I don't think so. I think you're
are.
wrong on this one.
They
I think
are.
you're
I
wrong
think
on
it's
this
a
one.
part. It's a part of it.
I think you're
No, I
wrong on
think
this
that's
one.
part of it.
You
Yeah.
do?
If it was just superhero movies and there was horror films there, I would agree with you. But there's no horror film, no genre, no action, no horror,
Okay.
no
All right.
superhero.
It's the
Alright,
fact that
fine.
like
Why?
a genre
Why?
I don't know.
movie needs to be the most immaculate
Because they
thing
don't
they've
respect
ever
those,
seen in
those
their life.
films. They don't respect
They
those
can't
films.
just be
Well,
like,
I mean,
you know.
it's hard because I find that to be like such a subjective thing, because for me it's
Oscar
like
films have to have a message. They have to mean something.
Yeah,
Like,
but
everyone knows that.
that's
That
like
shouldn't be-
saying-
that shouldn't be the case.
that's like
It
saying
should be if a film is great, it should be great. Best picture.
But
not best picture with a message in parentheses.
hang on,
Like-
yeah, but hang on a second though. Listen to my point here, because let's say there's 10 superhero movies that come out in a year, which we're heading in that direction. But let's say that that's the case, right? And then you have 10 Best Picture nominees. And I personally like all the Best Picture nominees better. Just my personal opinion. Does that make me like want to say that superhero movies are below me? No, it's just I didn't like them as much. I find more substance and more in, some of
And
these
that's-
dramas
okay,
that
that's
come out.
But like,
But
how
you're
many
the
times?
exception,
How
I
many
think.
times do we see Best Picture movies and they age horribly? You look at the history of the Oscars. The Best Picture winners are like, they're bad. A lot of them are bad. Even like the ones that are nominated.
Winners?
People don't remember them.
In the Oscars, they're
People
bad?
Don't remember them. Yes.
Which
Look on
winners
the
were bad?
list.
In the last...
Or the Best Picture that year didn't win. Spike Lee has not won a directing Oscar or a Best Picture Oscar.
But my
That's
point is
crazy.
it's... You're,
The Five
I was gonna
Bloods
say
snub.
2018.
hold on. Calm down a second. You're naming the best pictures that are your favorite movies, though. See, that's different.
No, it's history. History is not kind to the Best Picture winners. They're like, wait, what? That one over Do the Right Thing? That's crazy. Because they don't. It's not. I'm just saying, it is opinion. It is subjective. But you look back 20 years later, 30 years later, a lot of these films get forgotten about and no one remembers them. And the films that are remembered and do hold up are not the best picture of the year or nominated for Best Picture.
But I don't know, man. Are we there yet?
End all be all.
No, it's
And
not the
people
end
know
all
that,
be
and
all.
that's why they don't care. Because
No.
the Oscars doesn't represent
Okay,
the,
but if...
like the culture.
Okay, so
taste.
if you're asking the question, is my personal favorite movie of the year ever the Best Picture winner? No. It usually isn't, I'll be
It
honest.
usually isn't.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's my
Yeah.
point.
But like here's an example though, but this is I guess where I'm coming from. My personal favorite movie of the year, and I don't know what yours was, Cisco, but my personal favorite movie of the year, and I know you think I'm
yours
nuts.
The same as mine, Cisco?
What?
Promising Young Woman?
I have to do my top. We're doing the top 10 episode this Saturday, but that was for a long time. That was my number one. Yes.
No, but like my personal favorite movie of the year, and this is my subjective opinion. I know you disagree with that. We're not going to debate on whether the movie's good or not, but I'm just making a point.
Mortal Kombat?
No. Fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck off, Scartosi. Oh my god. No, listen. My personal favorite my favorite movie of the year is, I know you don't like the movie. We're not going to have a discussion about that, but it's Malcolm and Marie. That was my favorite movie of 2020. But
oh yeah, we talked about that.
However, do you agree that that should be a Best Picture nominee?
No, not at all.
But that's my personal favorite. So I'm saying that
nominated for anything.
No.
No one liked it.
But did your personal favorite movie of the year get nominated? Did everything in your top 5 get nominated? I guess is probably an even better question.
I haven't done it yet. Like I said, top 10.
Okay,
Saturday,
but do you think that
Promising Young Woman did get nominated? Yes.
Okay, but do you think
and
that
Parasite last year did get nominated? So they're getting better. They're getting better. I'll give.
Come on, man.
Last year, they're getting better, but
are you trying to? Are you seeing my point, or I don't know? Sammy, make sense of this. Make sense of this.
You're both right. You're that. The thing
Pulp Fiction
is that
did not win Best Picture that year. Do the Right Thing was not even nominated for Best Picture.
Let's Sammy talk about it here.
Come on. Yeah. Goodfellas did it with Best Picture.
It should have.
Right. The Academy is.
That's what I'm saying. Academy doesn't do a good job.
I'm Italian. I'm biased. Italian. We're biased. Sorry, Sammy. Please stop.
I would like to thank the Academy. The Academy is when people talk about Hollywood white elite, it's people who, most of those people are in the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. So these, and historically, it has always been those people. It started by those people. It's funded by those people. It is governed.
And they were majority white for
and
many
they are
years.
Majority white,
and
exactly.
Old.
And they're getting older and older by the year. There has been recent things in recent years where they've tried to get younger people, more people of color into the Academy. Exactly. However, historically, you are correct. And because of that it has not been the masses, it's been the Hollywood white elite, then it's been their favorite movies or the movies that they were paid by Harvey Weinstein the most to vote for. Like, that's what it has been historically. They are getting better. And we're getting on that train. And that's why I say, I think you should just do 10 nominees every year. You have the ability. I don't think you should cut the bullshit with this 8, this 7.
There's just so many biases. Whatever. Even 10. Animated. Why 10. Is no animated movie won Best Picture?
Ever Best Picture, right. It's
insane.
It's so rare. Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Animated movie is the best movie of the year. Right. A lot of people thought Soul was.
And
it wasn't even nominated. Right. It's crazy. I didn't. But like, if people really loved it that much, why was it not nominated?
And it's because of all those reasons that people don't want to watch. It's all those reasons why that's the reason why people don't.
It was the most seen movie, one of the most seen movies of last year. So
okay, I've cooled off. Let me make my last point. I've cooled off. All right. So, listen. This is how I see it. Okay, if you're gonna ask me, do I think that there are pretentious assholes in the Academy that vote? 100%. I think that needs to change for sure. Don't get me wrong. That does need to change. But I think it's unfair to say that to the Academy, these were not the best movies, too, because all opinions are subjective. So, like, in my opinion, like the average moviegoer, 99% of them are never going to be a part of the Academy. I'm sorry. But 1% will be every year. Every passing year, a percent of somebody who is an average moviegoer will probably join and become a member of the Academy, or people that really enjoy these average movies. So I think with the work in progress,
rise every year.
Right? I think with the work in progress, we're gonna see these things change. You will see a more diverse set of movies. This was not the year for that. I mean, unfortunately, but I think part of that was due to COVID. I think part of that was due to COVID, though. We didn't have like a lot of big blockbusters.
This would have been the year to experiment, get some crazy shit in there. Palm Springs,
right? But there also wasn't.
Why wasn't that nominated?
It's hard to tell because
they don't respect comedies.
Hold on a second. It's hard to tell. Hold on a second. It's hard to tell because it's the COVID situation. We didn't have a lot of big blockbusters. That said, let's see what happens this year. Let's see if there's any more of the big blockbusters going in, and then maybe we can come back and have this conversation again. Because, I think that each year it's gotten a little bit better. But, but I'll be honest with you. Do I think that don't actually think Endgame should have been a Best Picture nominee. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it should have been a Best Picture nominee.
I
think
Infinity War. Infinity War.
I'm sorry, Infinity War.
I think Downey Jr. should have been nominated.
But a lot of people wanted Endgame.
I agree with that.
And I can't.
I think that should have been
right. But I do agree.
Black Panther got nominated.
Yeah, and to me, I'll be honest with you.
Again, it's like you said, they have to mean something. They have to have like this core theme.
I'll be honest with you.
Same thing with Get Out.
I'll be honest with you.
It can't just be a good movie.
I'll be honest with
you.
I'll be honest with you. Black Panther was only the second time in history, though, that I watched an MCU film and said that should be nominated for Best Picture. It was the only time, in my personal opinion.
Well, I thought Infinity War easily should have been.
I disagree.
Amazing.
See, I disagree with that. So I'm saying, like, is it possible that, you know, my opinion just happens to line up with the Academy? It's a subjective
Star Wars?
thing.
You don't want to ever see a Star Wars movie get nominated?
Oh, I do. I do.
Star Wars has been neglected.
They're not going to.
It was nominated once for Best Picture and then, like, never talked about ever again.
I do.
That's the change I want to see. That's the change.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do. But that's also a subjective thing. You know what I mean? That's like a subjective thing still. It's like
I don't think so. I don't think it is subjective. You have 93 years of proof of the Oscars disrespecting genres of that people like and go to see.
I know, and I didn't disagree with that point. I'm not disagreeing with that point. I already said there's some pretentious people in the Oscars for sure. I'm not disagreeing with that point, and there's change that needs to be made there as well. I just think that this year wasn't the year to nominate blockbusters because shit, we didn't have any. You know, so it's like it's kind of hard to.
Blockbusters don't really get nominated either. Like Godzilla vs. Kong is not going to be nominated for Best Picture next year.
Well, the movie wasn't that good. Come on, it was fun, but it wasn't that good.
Blockbuster, do you think? Yeah, that's not going to be nominated.
But
best superhero ever made.
But I'm saying but if you left it up to like Mark, for example, he would say Mortal Kombat should be a Best Picture nominee. You know what I mean? So it's like, who do you trust? It's like it's all subjective across the board. We all have various opinions. I think it's just unfair to say that this is absolute. They are just not nominating it because of that. No. So some people, their nominations are their favorite movies.
Weird. Again, it's weird.
But I do think there are some
93 people, though, years of not really
for sure
here and there. Yeah. Like, you're gonna tell me The Exorcist and Silence of the Lambs are the only horror movies that are worth nominating for Best Picture?
You're gonna tell me Catherine Bigelow and Chloe Zhao were the only good female filmmakers in the last 93 years?
It's horrible.
No, but like
they need to do better with that.
And I don't disagree with you, Cisco. I'm saying, but that is our opinion, and I just think it's unfair. It's kind of the same conversation we've been having all night.
I think it's an institutional problem they need to address and fix because there's not getting any better.
There are parts of it they do. Okay, yeah, and again, I said this. I said if you like go through the Academy, first of all, find out what in the hell they're watching. You know what I mean? Like, did you like? That's the other thing too. It's like, are they watching these comic book movies?
Half the time.
Yeah.
They don't watch
right, and that needs to change too.
The box and they're like, oh, I guess, I like Anthony Hopkins. Like,
or they have like their assist. I've heard like people having their assistants vote for them for the Academy Awards, and they just be like, I don't know, pick your favorites.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that too. Yeah, no, for sure, it's a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm saying though that we can't write it off for everybody in the Academy. That's my point. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But there are some people for sure that are, part of that problem.
If they're winning, it's a majority. So you can at least say that.
Yeah.
I can speak to this point because
it's not just a few apples. It's a majority of people that vote for these movies year after year.
I don't know, Sammy. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, Cisco, because that's the thing I've been thinking about this whole time. Because the thing is that the Oscars are, since they are mainly run by this type of group of people, that you can't deny there is a political type of bias that goes into it. That there is, if you have one group of people doing it, then you have to look at, well, what are the values and things of that group of people?
Right.
And so often it's places of privilege, places of, wanting to watch stories to make them feel better.
That they can relate
to. Or they can relate to,
but it's very
stuff like
one-sided.
That. Exactly. And that's part of why I think the Chadwick losing was so heartbreaking, because it was like, it kind of felt like, oh, so an institution that sees Heath Ledger die way too soon and we lose him, that they all immediately go into, oh, we have to give him the Oscar. There's no doubt in my mind we're giving him the Oscar. And yet when a black man, Chadwick Boseman, dies
and that was for a superhero film, unprecedented.
Yeah.
That was even more of a stretch, you could argue, because it's not like Chadwick didn't win for Black Panther. It was like, no, this was another This was more of an Oscar-y movie too.
And so then for so many people, for that many people, for like the doubt to kind of creep in, to be like, well, should I give, what is it, the 3-time Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins?
This is the second one.
Should I already give Academy Award winner Anthony Hopkins his second Oscar? Like, to have that creep in when, like, for Heath Ledger, I mean, historically we don't know the numbers for sure, but based on wins, that creeping of doubt didn't come in when it came to the white man, but when it came to the black man, it did. Like, that is, I mean, that's tough. A fact. That's tough. What happened. And, like, that hurts. That's what.
No, it's uncomfortable to talk about, but it's just like I said, it's the elephant in the room. It's the Oscars does it to themselves year after year.
Exactly. It's the fact that it came off that way. But I was like, you guys did this to yourself.
Yep.
You as an institution, it kind of just showed that, like, them as an institution don't quite understand it yet. That they're still That's
why I have a love-hate relationship with the Oscars, because I want them to be representative of the best films of the year. But when they so frequently ignore best performances, I feel like in horror, in comedy, in a number of other genres, popular superhero films, it just
for reasons like because it's a horror.
They make it harder for me to support
it's a comedy,
them.
And then they shut that off immediately. Like, oh,
I mean,
movies. I only watch my historical dramas.
I mean,
there's a lot of people who like that.
We're gonna move on to some news, but before we go, the last thing I'll say is like, there are problems that need to be fixed. I acknowledge that. Okay, like for sure. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying that.
It's the system as a whole that I'm angry about, I think. Yeah.
I don't know.
Systematic problem of the Oscars.
I don't know. Sure. I'm 1 against 2 here. I'm used to it. All right. What do we got next?
Cool. Just moving along.
Yeah. To be clear, I will watch the Oscars every year. I just want them to do better.
I do too. I was mad about. There's been.
Prove me wrong, please.
I think every. And I'm being honest. I think every consecutive year, I am a little upset that something didn't get nominated. That was in my personal list. I'm not saying I'm not. I am. I'm with you guys. I'm just saying like. Never mind. We're off of this. You get get my points. Come on. I think there's right on both sides here. We need more diversity in this little group here.
Yes.
I think so. I don't have to lose arguments all the time.
I'll give them that. Moonlight, Parasite, Nomadland. Good for you, Oscars, for at least getting
that.
And
for the past couple years, their diversity numbers have increased. So they are getting better as the old white people start to die, being replaced with young, diverse people. So.
Move on. What's next? Let's go.
Yeah. All right, so we have our first piece of news today is that Star Wars Rise of the Old Republic is getting a remake.
Try that again. Yeah.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. What did I say?
Rise of the Old Republic.
Oh, did I? I didn't even realize.
Ain't a J.J. Abrams movie, Sammy. It's a freaking masterpiece of a game.
Oh, my enemy. Anyway, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remake developed by Aspire? Can't pronounce it.
I thought it was
Asper. It's Asper. Aspire.
Okay.
It's actually Asper. But anyway, go ahead.
Aspire. That's what happens when you eat too much hot wings.
Yeah, you could Aspire.
It's Asper. The H is silent. I don't know. It's Asper. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. But yeah, this is coming. It's getting there's a trailer for it. It is looks like it's going to be a mobile game reboot or remake complete.
Yeah.
Complete new remake. So what do you guys think? I've actually never played the game.
Yeah.
So I do know the story.
Yeah.
But I've never actually played the game, so can't really speak much to it. Sounds exciting. I might play this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite video games of all time. Not just Star Wars games, in my opinion, one of the greatest video games ever made. Actually, I wish I would have pulled the clip. This was way back when in the Ian era, Sammy. We actually talked about the fact that Asper Games was making a new Star Wars game, and we didn't know what it was. The first thing I said, it's Knights of the Old Republic, and y'all called me an idiot. So I'm right sometimes, but. I wish I would have pulled the clip just so I could have shown you. But no, I mean, yeah, this is exciting. I'm happy that it's actually happening. I predicted this would be the game that they were doing. I know that we got into, not you and I, Sammy, Ian and I got into an argument about this because he was telling me that Asper Games would not make a console Knights of the Old Republic game, and because I guess they focus on mobile games typically, and lo and behold, just like I told him, they are doing a console Knights of the Old Republic game. So stoked about this. I think this is long overdue, and I mean long overdue. I don't know why this hasn't been greenlit ages ago. I just started playing the Republic Commando remake that just came out, or it's like a kind of a remaster, and that's great. I hope they do even better with this one. I think that it's amazing. I'm so happy. Like, so happy. You have no idea. I think that this is incredible news. I cannot wait to play this thing. It should be great. I'm excited. Cisco, have you ever played Knights of the Old Republic?
It's been a long time, but I did play it. It is a really good game. So I'm happy that they're remaking it, and supposedly it's like they're adding new stuff though to like from the article that to tie into the current lore, which I think is cool as well. It's kind of like, I played some of the new Resident Evil remakes that they've been doing, like Resident Evil 2, which is kind of the same deal where they remake the original games and they add new stuff too. And they're amazing. They're amazing. So I really like that motto. And this is one of the most beloved Star Wars just things in general, not just like games, but like just in general, people love this game. So I hope they do a good job, and I look forward to playing it when it comes out.
Yeah, and I think it's set to happen actually within the year, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, I think
they said 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if it happens, I mean it's gonna be basically people's first introduction to the Old Republic in the current canon, which is also really cool. We really haven't had too much lore from that in the current canon. There's some stuff in the Tarkin book, and there's stuff in Clone Wars that kind of touch on it, but we've never actually had a story that took place in it yet in the current canon. So I really hope they do a bang up job on it. I want them to change things for sure and improve things for sure on it. I just don't want them to change too much, but I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm super excited.
I was thinking I was getting mixed up with somewhere else, another article.
I gotcha. But either way, I mean, I think that it's cool. I think that, the fact that they are reworking it to current canon, which actually isn't going to take much. Honestly, they're not going to have to do much to rework it. A lot of the Old Republic hasn't been touched on yet. You can keep a lot of the story the same. I think that you just have to tweak a character here and there. And then I also want them to tweak the fighting style in this game. I think that the mechanics there need to be switched up a little bit. Some people disagree with that take. I think that the mechanics on the original are incredibly dated as well, but the story and just the gameplay in general and the vibe and the tone, you don't change that. Leave that alone. That stuff is incredible. I mean, I think that it could you could make that work in the current canon for sure. Super stoked about this. Again, long overdue. So yeah, what's next?
That's nice. All right, next up we have Vin Diesel is going to star in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
Okay. All right.
So all we know is that Vin Diesel will be the lead, and it will be helmed by Kevin McKeon. Kevin McKeon, I believe I'm mispronouncing that. And it will be produced by Mattel Films.
Yeah,
go off with your bad
Kevin.
selves.
I love Kevin. He's family.
Listen, I mean,
like a brother.
Let's be honest here. This honestly could be Vin Diesel's one last ride. I mean, this sounds like a terrible idea. I think that, in all honesty, though, it could be one of these things where it's like curiosity gets the best of people and we all go see it, and next thing you know, we're watching 2 Rock'em 2 Sock'em. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think that
I will not be one of those people, just for the record.
I will not.
I'll be honest, it's got my curiosity. I just want to see how they try to make logic of a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie starring Vin Diesel.
In the article was like a father reunites with his son over fighting robots, and I was like, so Real Steel, basically, that we already got that movie with Hugh Jackman. I don't know why we need another one with Vin Diesel, who is a far less gifted actor than Hugh Jackman. But
Real Steel was great.
Moments like this, I'm like, Hollywood, listen, I am a young person who writes, and I have a lot of ideas. You can just call me, and I will give you some of my original ideas. There's a lot of us in this country. And yet, you just, like, it feels like they're out of ideas. That's what this
I live my life one Rock'em Sock'em at a time.
Be like, call us.
Oh my
You
god.
can call us and we'll give you our ideas. You don't need to resort to Rock'em Sock'em with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
You know,
Ah.
Sammy, I gotta say, I mean, sometimes when I stand here and appraise, my movie collection behind me, just looking at it, just admiring it, I do. Sometimes I think, you know what I'm missing in there? A Vin Diesel Rock'em Sock'em movie.
You're the one. You're who this movie was made for.
No,
they obviously did some kind of test audience.
This sounds horrible.
Analysis, and they found you.
Yeah.
And they were like,
This sounds fucking terrible. This sounds awful. Are you kidding me? I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna watch it out of curiosity, but this does sound terrible. I mean, I don't know if I'll go to the theater.
This is a
red box rental. Exactly. It's not a theater watch.
I guess I'll just watch this because there's nothing better to do today.
This is TBS on a Wednesday
and I hate my life.
Right.
On your day off. That's what this is. That's what Rock'em Sock'em with Vin Diesel is.
Yeah. 100%. Anyway.
Yeah, video game. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat in a second, but video game movies have not been good. Board game movies have been even less good. With, Battleship that came out a few years ago. And even if you read the article, it says they're gonna make an Uno movie and a Barbie movie, which
again, Hollywood, call me.
Please.
I have so
an
many
Uno movie?
ideas. I will give them to you for a small price.
What is gonna be the Uno?
There's a Tetris movie too. Don't forget that. Tetris movie with Taron Egerton, which I'm actually excited about. Hey, no, I'm excited about the Tetris movie. Listen, did you hear the plot for this thing?
So I'm writing a solitaire movie as we speak.
No, listen.
You can't have that one for free.
Called the Poker movie.
I'm not pulling any punches here. Like the Tetris movie sounds amazing. So it's Dexter Fletcher who directed Rocket Man. Directed Rocket Man. Dexter
Honestly,
Fletcher.
Sammy, we should just do this. If this is what's getting made, you know what? Hire me. I will write it.
The game board.
I guess they don't want to hear about the Tetris movie. That's all right.
I have no shame.
That's all right.
What's the plot of the Tetris movie? One block meets another block and they fall in love?
No. Listen. All right, so Dexter Fletcher's directing this.
The perfect match.
All right, I'm done. Move on. What's next? Forget it. Forget it. Move on. You're good.
Are you sure? Because you can go ahead.
I'm not.
You're not going to sell me on the Tetris movie. I'm sorry.
I probably would if you would have listened, but it's all right. Go. Move on.
Go. You have the floor.
Got it. Go ahead.
Nope. I'm not falling for it.
Sure? You good?
I'm gonna start talking, then I'm gonna completely kick the toilet. So just yeah.
I would never kick the toilet.
All right, you ready for the plot synopsis of Tetris? I got it pulled up here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The film will delve into the legal battles which took place during the Cold War over ownership of the game. All right. So it's a true story. The Oscars love that. Could happen.
That was not what I could have guessed anything else and it would have not been that. I could have guessed for 10 years and I would not have guessed that.
No, it sounds great.
Taron Egerton is the leading star of it.
And Dexter Fletcher's directing, who directed Rocket Man and Eddie the Eagle. Come on, guys. Can't tell me that doesn't sound intriguing.
On IMDb, it says the director is John S. Baird.
It was Dexter Fletcher. He must have dropped.
Who directed? What did he direct? Stan and Ollie with speaking of our guy.
I heard that was not
John
bad.
C. Reilly. That's the only thing of familiarity I see on here. So yeah, but yeah, he looks like the director on here. Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, board game movies, technically very, very. That's what are gonna be good. So
we're doing the board game cinematic.
Rock'em Sock'em movie. Don't have very high hopes for. I don't know. Is Vin Diesel gonna be like one of the robots, or is he actually gonna be like?
Unclear.
He's gonna be like an Iron Giant situation.
He's gonna do all the characters. It's all Vin Diesel.
He will be playing all the roles.
He's just gonna do the sound effects like boom, boom, no, boom,
like boom, boom, boom.
Then when the head finally explodes up, like
it's just like I am Groot.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, what's next?
I am Rock'em Sock'em.
Have you guys that just reminded me, have you guys ever seen the YouTube video Cher in West Side Story?
No.
So there's Cher made this whole like music video of her, and the way she starts it, she's like, hello, my name is Cher, this is West Side Story, and I will be playing all the parts. And she plays all the parts, and it's edited.
This is just her like at home?
Like,
or what is
kind
this?
of. I mean, she's on like a stage.
Oh,
So it had to be
so like a
produced at least a
one-woman
little bit.
play.
It's like a
something
one-woman
that?
play, but it's like edited together, so
Or
it's just her
musical.
singing with herself. It's
Okay.
so freaking funny. It's
mean,
worth your time.
Cher could do it.
Yeah,
There's anyone who
it's
could
just
do it. Cher could do it.
I will be playing all the parts.
Haven't seen it.
She does. It's A+ content. A+.
Gotta look
video,
it up. Gotta look
honestly.
it up.
Nice. All right. So, all right, we're gonna moving right along. Our first trailer for The Conjuring 3, which is opening in theaters and HBO Max on June 4th.
Sammy, I have a slight
has
correction
dropped.
already. It's actually called The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It.
You are
Not
correct.
The
I
Conjuring
apologize.
3.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I
just
can't
wanted to
believe I
clear
would
that up.
ever. I can't believe. I'm so sorry.
I'm
so
just
sorry.
doing it before
My
the people in the
bad, my
comments do
bad.
that.
Yeah, they
You know,
will.
it's
People in
my
the comments
bad.
come after you.
You know, it's my bad.
Well,
guys.
I
That
do
was on
say,
me.
actually.
I'm sorry. That one was on me. You fair.
I actually do like the
Fair.
title too, so that's why I wanted.
It's
It's
not
a
a
cool
bad
title.
title.
Cool
I
title.
like the title.
It's not bad. So, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, released in theaters and HBO Max June 4th. This looked fun. This looked good. Actually, I enjoy the Conjuring movies. I have said many times before that I am a scaredy cat in remission, but I've always really enjoyed The Conjuring. I really like the kind of true storyness behind it that it's based on. You know,
You like the Conjuring
husband and
universe? Are you talking about the Conjuring 1 and 2?
universe.
Or both.
I do enjoy
Okay.
the universe. The universe is cool.
Yeah.
I've seen The Conjuring. I think I might have only seen The Conjuring, but I do enjoy the like. I haven't seen all.
Oh,
of
you
them,
haven't
to
seen
be
the
fair, so I
sequel?
can't. Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't think so.
Oh,
Again,
actually,
I'm
I
a-
like
I'm a-
Conjuring 2 is great.
too.
Conjuring
I like
2 is great.
2. It's
I heard
cool.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's good.
Yeah, so
But I'm down for this. I'm a fan of the world getting bigger. I like that is a franchise that exists.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't like the spin-off movies, I gotta be honest, but I love the core films that are directed by James Wan. 1 and 2 are great. Really wanted to like this trailer more. I gotta be honest, this one was kind of disappointing to me. I think that, my biggest issue here is the fact that, like, now, don't get me wrong, I have faith in this movie still. Like, just because I didn't like this trailer, I still expect this to be great because James Wan is helming it. But as far as the trailer goes, I just didn't think it was like a trailer that got me super hyped. I mean, a lot of the problem, I think, and I get that it's probably difficult to make a great trailer for one of these because they're like trying to show like the stakes, like Lorraine Warren almost going off the cliff and all that. It's like, we know she's gonna live. It's a true story, and clearly she lived past these events. So like the stakes didn't really get me into it, and it didn't hype me up. But that said, I still have faith. I think James Wan with the core Conjuring films, the other ones.
I got a slight correction for you, Dom, on that one. The director is actually Michael Chavez. It's not James Wan on this.
Isn't that the guy that just got arrested from George Floyd?
Oh, that was Derek Chauvin.
That was Derek Chauvin.
Fuck. Okay.
Michael Chavez, who
All right.
directed The Curse of La Llorona,
They're all the
which was
same. All these white men are the
terrible.
same.
He's directing
All around
3?
it was bad.
yes.
Yeah.
What happened to
So-
Juan?
I think he's doing something else. He's big, man. So I mean that can transition to my thoughts.
Never mind. I don't have much faith in this anymore if he did La Llorona. Fuck. Okay. Well,
Yeah, didn't hear that one.
new
Was it?
opinion. I swore Juan was back on for this one. I thought he was in that featurette saying that he was back, but
Doing Aquaman 2.
Maybe producing.
I swore he was
producing, I
directing.
assume.
This must have changed at some point, and I didn't hear about it because he was definitely at one point going to direct 3. I know that for a fact.
He did the first 2, so it's not like a stretch to think that.
Yeah. Okay.
He's producing. So that's why his name's on.
I don't know. He produced the other ones then. Okay, I'm a little less excited now. I'm not gonna lie to you. That just changed my perspective on this. Listen, I'm happy Ed and Lorraine Warren are back. I cannot wait to see them back in a movie, but without James Wan, I don't know how this is going to be. All of the spin-offs, except for the one that David F. Sandberg did, the second Annabelle, that was actually a prequel. That one was good. That was the only really good spin-off.
Okay, I was going to say that.
Yeah,
but
the
yeah,
rest
me
of
too.
them...
I like Conjuring 2 a
Yeah,
lot.
and the rest of them sucked. And then Conjuring 2, obviously. The core films done by James Wan were great. La Llorona, I don't know.
Should have never been part of the Conjuring universe, honestly. That was so dumb and random.
How'd you like the trailer, Cisco?
I'm mixed on it, honestly. For all the reasons you just said, I think James Wan not being here has me worried. I don't like how they're trying to still basically say that this is based on the true files of Ed and Lorraine Warren, like the true story. It's like, I don't know if you know anything about them, but like I'm pretty sure they're like proven frauds in real life. And so it's just like, I'm just like, really, we're still gonna. I don't care if you like make those movies, whatever, make it and just.
Yeah,
it
but
like an
there
actual
a
thing.
lot
It's
of what
like,
Juan
whatever.
did though. Like, let me just throw this out there real quick.
To hold credibility as like a true.
They're still
Warren
marketing.
File
They're using
thing.
it as a marketing tool.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, but
That's
whether you buy into their stuff or not, like the thing that Juan did so brilliantly is he is actually taking like true stories that are from the books that they've written and things like that. So that's like what's made the core Conjuring thing so good is because the source material was good. The stuff that
I'm not
Juan.
saying it has to be true. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I get you.
concept,
No,
like,
I get that. I'm just saying that.
With Amityville Horror, like that was bullshit too.
And the
There's,
fact
like,
that this is
20
based.
Amityville movies now.
Right. I guess my point is like I guess one of the bright sides here is they have like actual source material to go off of. You know what I mean in terms of an actual Ed and Lorraine story. But I digress. Keep going with your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then it's also based on like a case where like the first case in American history, where someone tried to say that the devil made him do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like committed a murder. And I'm not gonna spoil what happens in it, but it's like, again, it's it's not like it doesn't lend itself to horror movie stuff if you read the case. So I don't know how they're gonna try
Worse
and spin
or
it off.
not bad enough? Is it like worse than what you would see in a horror movie, or is it like not up to par?
It's like they're gonna make it supernatural. Where, like I said, it's like in the real world.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a
Right.
hoax kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like they tried it, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. But that being said, this is a movie. They're gonna Hollywood horror the shit out of this, and yeah, I like. Obviously the two leads who have been in all the Conjuring movies, they're really solid.
They're great.
Wilson,
Yeah.
and Farmiga, Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, they're great.
Both great. So I'm glad that they're back. They seem to like doing this type of movie.
Yeah.
But like I said, it does feel like there's something different about this one.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that James Wan is not back.
Well,
I'm
yeah, that
worried.
changed things for me. I swore it was Juan, so that changed things for me. Once you said that, I'm like,
and not a fan of the Conjuring universe either.
No.
I'm on this one.
No.
I just like I like that Annabelle one too.
Yeah,
I
that was
three
great.
Was decent, was watchable. Didn't love it. But outside of those two and the Conjuring movies, don't like anything else that they've really done so far. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna HBO Max this one, honestly, just because of all the reasons I just laid out.
Why not? If you have HBO Max, it's like, why not?
I did the same thing for Mortal Kombat, which we'll get into.
Right.
But yeah, it's like if I'm ever like that, and I'm like, I don't think I need to see this in a theater. I love that we have the option now to do that. So.
Well, all right. I mean, I'm genuinely bummed now. I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah. Speaking of Mortal Kombat,
sorry,
it's all right. I appreciate you fact checking me because like I need to know. That's a good piece of information to have in terms of like how I'm gonna predict this is gonna be now. It's like now I'm not so sure. I swore because Juan was definitely attached to direct at one point. I know that, but he must have.
I think
left.
I heard that too.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I just don't know what happened.
Didn't know it switched. La Llorona made money, and he was like, oh, "Okay."
That movie was bad.
Oh, it's not a good movie,
really
but it made
bad.
money, unfortunately.
I'm actually going to be right back. So in the meantime, go ahead and talk Mortal Kombat. And if I'm not back in time, Russell Crowe is playing Zeus. I will be back.
All right.
Okay.
We'll talk shit about Sammy now while you're gone.
What's your ETA? How long? How long? She can't hear me.
Oh, she's gone.
All right. No,
I mean, we can start going on that topic though.
Okay. Well, no. Do you want to do Mortal Kombat or Zeus?
Well, she just said Russell Crowe and Thor, and then dip. So I'm like, we can start talking about that, and then when she gets back, she can get her thoughts on that. If you want.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's playing Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. He already played Noah, I believe, before, so it's not that much of a stretch to see Russell Crowe playing like a god type character who's very powerful in Greek mythology. If you have ever studied that, Zeus is just like he's basically the Superman of Greek mythology. He's just the shit. No one can touch him. He just does a lot of bogus stuff to humans.
Yeah.
Because he can.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's gonna be like the villain, or I think Christian Bale is the villain, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's oh god, I can't remember his name in the.
He's
but
like the God Slayer, something. The God Slayer.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like,
He's
okay,
bald
so
now.
maybe,
Did you see that? He's bald for
I
this.
didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Christian
crazy.
Bale shaved his
I
head for this movie.
He loves doing that shit.
Yeah,
though,
he
so
does.
that's
He probably didn't even need to be bald. He was like, I'm gonna shave my head for this.
He wants to be fat or bald or both. That's like it's written in his contract.
It's like, well, Christian, you know you're gonna be CGI, right? He's like, I don't care. I'm shaving my head.
You know you're playing Jesus. Like, I don't care. We're making this version bald and fat.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yep.
Oh
man.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, Russell Crowe's a good actor. I didn't like Unhinged, which was what he put out last year. That was the last role that I saw from him. Totally, completely different type of movie than this one. And I have all the faith in Taika Waititi. I know me and Sammy like Thor Ragnarok more than you do. It's very high on our MCU list. I don't want to speak for her, but as far as me, very high in my MCU rankings. And so I have all the faith he's going to be good. Christian Bale kills it. And Russell Crowe playing Zeus, that's just such a meaty role. I think he can do a lot with that. Not sure like how Zeus plays in the Thor comics or whatever, but I mean, there's so much lore around Zeus. It's like I feel like it's just easy to make something of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, listen,
I
mean, like, you said it best. I mean, you know, you guys obviously hold Thor Ragnarok higher than I do. I'm 2 against 1. I'm used to it. But, you know, I think that, you know,
hey,
for
man,
me.
I agree with you about The Conjuring.
That's fair.
The Conjuring universe.
We're definitely going to agree once we get to Mortal Kombat, too.
And
so.
Mortal Kombat, yeah. I don't know what Sammy thinks about that, but
for sure.
We'll see.
Oh, we're taking her down with us. I don't think she watched it, but we're taking her down with us anyway. We have to wait for her to get back. That's why I asked how long she was going to be. We're taking her down with us. We had to watch this piece of shit. But anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, no, you're right. But I love Taika Waititi. You know, I do, and I think that he's capable of making great stuff, and you know, he definitely is. I love everything outside of it.
His first movie he did that.
Like, What We Do in the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows.
No, the other one.
Oh, Hunt for the Wilder People. Yeah, it's great.
Did you see that one?
I own it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, it's the last one I gotta see. I have not seen that yet.
Oh, dude, watch
I
it.
hear it's really good.
If you like Taika, you're gonna love this movie. It's.
But I like Jojo Rabbit, and I love What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, Jojo Rabbit's my favorite of his so far. I like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Hunt for the Wilder People second, and then What We Do in the Shadows is third, and then Ragnarok. I don't hate the movie. I just don't like it as much as you guys.
See, my ranking's probably like just the opposite of yours. I love.
Oh really?
What We Do in the Shadows number 1.
It's hilarious.
Then Ragnarok, and then Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the other
Hunt for the
one
Wilder
yet,
People.
So,
Yeah, check it out. I recommend it. It's amazing. But
I know the kid from that's like in Deadpool 2 though, and was just in Godzilla versus Kong, so he's really like, you know, making a career in blockbusters.
He's got clout. Yeah. He was also in that Kris Kringle bullshit movie though too, the Christmas Chronicles too. He was also
really
and he was terrible in it, by the way. Just I usually like that kid, but he was terrible in that movie.
I didn't like him in either Godzilla or Deadpool 2, but I don't. You know what I mean?
I usually don't mind him.
Chance.
He was annoying. He was annoying in Chronicles 2 though, in the Christmas Chronicles 2, annoying as hell. That was the first time that kid's ever really gotten on my nerves.
Playing Santa?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if I had the chance, I would take that role too.
Yeah.
Just to work with Kurt Russell, like he's
yeah. I mean that the first Christmas Chronicles was basically the Escape from Chicago movie we never got. So yeah, why not? I mean, it was good stuff. Anyway, this I have faith in Taika is my point.
Me too.
And I think that, you know, he has the capabilities to make a really great movie, and maybe, you know, Ragnarok didn't appeal to me, but this one will. Who knows? I'll watch it. Well, I'm going to give it a shot. I love Taika enough, and I like the casting announcements we've gotten out of these. I mean, Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, both those guys are a top 15, top 20 favorite actors of mine, you know what I mean? So I think that this is exciting as hell, and I mean the fact that he's playing Zeus, and I was really hoping that Russell Crowe wasn't going to be a throwaway character, but it goes to show you, man, like Taika's got clout. Like some of the biggest actors in Hollywood want to work with him now. He's got that kind of clout, and it's really awesome to see. I mean, and anyway, I mean, I feel like this is this could be something that's like he's Zeus, but like it turns out it's not that big of a role in the film itself. But I'm hoping
also Anthony Hopkins in Ragnarok role.
Yeah,
you know
but I'm hoping for the opposite. I think that I think that he definitely it has the potential to be something big because again, like I was saying, Taika's just got that clout. I think that he can definitely cast Russell Crowe in something bigger than that. And obviously, if Christian Bale's doing something big, why not? You know, I mean, I think it could really work. I'm excited. You know, it excites me more.
Talk about his role got released as well. I don't know if his.
We were talking about it. Yeah, we're talking. That's what we were talking about. Zeus. Yeah.
Zeus.
Well, Christian Bale's role. Christian Bale is going to be his Gore the God.
Right. We were kind of trying. We were trying to figure out what his name was, but we remembered that it did get announced. So yeah, for sure. Anyway, Sammy, what do you think of Russell Crowe in Zeus or being Zeus?
I'm really hyped about it. I'm excited. Thor Ragnarok is my third favorite MCU movie,
It's
only
high.
behind
Two
Infinity
against
War
one.
and Endgame.
Two against one.
So I'm biased. I'm so hyped for Love
Hey,
and Thunder.
MK in the Conjuring universe, Dom. Focus on the similarities.
Right.
Oh yeah, continue, Sammy.
Nothing
So I
but
didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. I just like nothing but excitement. This makes me even more hyped for the movie.
Yeah.
Which at this point is like, can you make me more
Yeah.
excited? Because I mean, I think anything but something about a trailer would make me more excited. Because I'm hyped.
All
And
right.
yeah, speaking of Bale, I was gonna pull this just if Sammy didn't come back in time, but I already grabbed it. This just came in the mail today.
Oh, dope movie.
Still haven't seen it.
Dope
I
movie,
really
man.
Want to see it.
It's
Yeah, I really
amazing.
like it.
It's great. James
I
Mangold,
know. I
man.
hear it's amazing.
James
Yeah.
Mangold's
One of the only
amazing.
movies I know other than Batman v Superman to just use the V in the.
Nice. Yeah.
It seemed like it was hot in those 2-year periods.
Right.
Like, all right, we're just doing this now.
It's strange that it.
Kong went full verses.
It's
Yeah,
strange that it was
yes.
more of a. It was strange that it's more successful in the one that's called Ford v Ferrari and not the Batman v Superman. You know, it's like, well, think about that irony.
You would think.
You would think.
Well, Ford v Ferrari was like super dope. I
A
was
better one, yeah.
Yeah.
it was dope.
Think about that irony right there, folks. I mean, Batman v Superman should have made $1 billion in its sleep. I mean, really.
Cool. Yeah.
Come on. Man. I like that movie, and I'm still saying, like, it's ironic that Ford v Ferrari tended to work out a
I
little
like
bit
the
better.
uncut. I like the uncut.
No, yeah, the uncut version of Batman v Superman.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Yeah, it's great.
Miles above.
Oh,
and
yeah. The
Snyder-
theatrical has problems.
Snyder, and we brought up Justin Long earlier. He was on Justin Long's podcast.
Oh, was he?
So
Nice.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that. Yeah.
I recommend that interview. It was
For
really
sure.
good.
I bet it was. Yeah, I'll check that out
Yeah.
for sure. I didn't know
So
he was on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cool.
I really enjoyed it.
cool. I'll check it out
Love
for
that.
sure. Yeah, so Sammy, we decided that we're going to bring you down with us with this Mortal Kombat review, so we waited. So,
Alright.
You haven't seen it yet, Sammy?
I haven't.
Okay.
Okay, we vented for like a long time yesterday, and we had like a lot of callers coming in. We had we had 2 people going back and forth about one person loved it, the other person hated it.
Damn.
Had their own Mortal Kombat of their own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know very little of Mortal.
It was
I
pretty
asked once
entertaining.
what it was about. They're like, well, it's like a big battle thing. And I was like, oh,
Have
so
you played
kind of
the
like
games?
Pokemon, and that's about it. No, I haven't. I know
Okay.
very little about Mortal Kombat.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start down?
I'm a novice, so this is all gonna be gibberish.
listen,
but-
I mean, okay, I mean,
not the first.
I mean, we're not going to do any spoilers. I mean, we'll do non-spoiler for this, but I
Yeah,
mean,
think that
it's
we did spoilers yesterday, so I actually like that we're doing non-spoilers right now. I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool, different.
well, I mean, who'd have thunk we'd have the Mortal Kombat fan club show up on our show yesterday?
Dude,
but
I've been arguing with
Wild.
people about it since last week.
it seems
People
like
love
it.
this
Yeah,
movie.
it's crazy. They do.
People
Yeah.
love this movie.
I
don't get it.
So this movie is well, what would I compare this? Well, I'll just start with the script. What would I compare this script to? I don't know, a kindergarten essay. I mean, it's terrible. This movie is awful. It's a mess. It's an entire wreck. I at first, I mean, I'll be honest. Like at first, it was like entertaining because it was like so bad it was funny, and then like there was a section right in the middle that it got so bad to the point where I was actually getting pissed off with how embarrassing this was for HBO Max. And then right at the end there was some entertainment. The ending fight is the best part of the movie, by the way. Like it's a dope fight. This isn't a spoiler. I'm just gonna say it right out. I don't consider this to be a spoiler necessarily. There's no tournament in the movie, folks. It's the one thing you should have in a Mortal Kombat movie, and it didn't have it.
That's the one thing I know about Mortal Kombat.
That said, even if there was a tournament in this movie, I don't think it would have saved this flick, because everything, even before like the good stuff happened, it was still all terrible. It's messy, it's choppy. I don't know how they even like thought that this was okay to release. I know that studios.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay,
right?
Sure. I got a lot to say. I don't know how studios I know studios like to save money for sure, and they wanted to save money in this COVID era, and I feel like this movie is a result of that. Like, they just wanted to save money. They were like, we're not going to put any money into fixing this thing up. We're just going to release it as is. This is embarrassing though. I'm sorry. Like, this is not good for the HBO Max service. And I don't know about you, Sammy. I mean, like, the HBO Max deal sounded great at first, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to get a new movie every month. It's going to be, something that was supposed to go to theaters every month. And most of these movies have sucked. I don't know if you feel the same way, Sammy, do you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of them. I didn't watch, honestly, but like the little things, I heard nothing but trash.
Terrible.
About. Tom and Jerry, heard nothing but trash about.
Right.
Mortal Kombat, not hearing great things. The only good one is really Snyder Cut, but that was its own kind of thing, not necessarily a part of that deal.
Yeah, and what's Once I saw like Godzilla versus Kong, I started to have faith again. I was like,
Godzilla versus Kong, was good.
I was like, maybe this was worth my $14.99 a month or whatever. But no, I don't know, because it's like, now here we are. This is probably the worst of everything they've released, in my opinion, in terms of these the straight to streaming that were supposed to be theatrical releases. This is the worst of them. It's terrible. I don't know. It does. It feels like a 7-year-old wrote this movie. One of the most irritating things about this is, like, every time a character used the F-bomb, they had to use it in this way that was like, it's cool to swear. You know what I mean? Like, it was cringy. You know what I mean? It didn't feel
like,
good.
Look at me, I'm cursing.
Right.
I'm not like other kids.
Right.
I'm cool. It was one of those.
Right. One of the points I know Cisco disagrees with me on this is because he actually liked this aspect of it. I said this. I think the blood was awful. Like, I mean, it looked bad every time there was blood in it, and there was a lot of it, don't get me wrong, but it was so overly CGI'd, and I thought we were past that. You know what I mean? Like, make CGI blood, but like, you can make it look really good. If you watch the Evil Dead remake, for example, one of the goriest movies of all time, they made their blood look practical. It might have been CGI, but it looked practical. And this movie, it felt so over digital all the time. I thought the characters were terrible. The villains were okay. I mean, that was one of the better parts, was some of the villains in here were pretty okay, in my opinion. I like the Sub-Zero storyline a lot. I mean, for the most part, that was one of the better parts about it. They got this character, what was it, Cole Young? Oh, he's not here yet. I thought he was back. I thought I heard him. I think the character's name is Cole Young. He's like 22 years old. His girlfriend's like 52. It didn't really make sense. She looked 52. Sorry to the actress, but if she's not, but she looked at it. It was a freaking mess.
At least it's usually the other way around, so I'll give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Choppier than hell, though. I mean, you could tell this is one of the most poorly edited movies I've ever seen in my entire life, in terms of its editing, anyway. And, like, I know you haven't played Mortal Kombat, Sammy, but just to give you some pretext here for the games, like, the fighting in the games is like some Last Jedi style shit, like the throne room style shit, where it's like you get those wide shots in the games anyway, and they're like, right, it's supposed to be like 1v1 wide shot type things, you know what I mean? Like there was none of that here, except for like the end. They utilized it a little bit, which is why I thought the ending fight was the best thing about it, but still not great. All the action was so choppy, it didn't look good. It was terrible. We needed more head to toe wide eye shots, which is my favorite type of action anyway, and should be in a Mortal Kombat movie when it's based off the games. I mean, what Mortal Kombat is, Sammy, this is the funny part about it, and again, because you haven't played the games, what Mortal Kombat is it's a tournament. The title is based on a tournament that exists, right. And the tournament wasn't even in the movie. Like, what the hell? Like, what were they thinking? And like, what's really funny is like, I've heard a lot of fans defending it, saying the tournament's going to be in the sequel. It's like, you're not going to have a sequel now. This thing made $22 million, which was not anywhere near the amount that they put into it.
Why would you save that for your sequel? Why wouldn't you, go big in that first one and then do an even, you can, because then up yourself, do two in the sequel, or, do an even bigger one in the sequel.
Yeah.
But don't just, while we're saving it for the sequel.
Yeah, and one more thing while I'm on this movie, while I'm making my points. The score, and I brought this up yesterday, was not memorable. Up until about the end credit song, this had one of the least memorable scores that I can remember in a long time as well, which is awesome. It doesn't bode well.
The trailer had kind of cool music, so that's disappointing.
Now, there were parts, like, because I when I reviewed the trailer way back, I had said that, like, the cinematography looked good, and there were parts where it did. Don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes the money definitely showed up on the screen. Sometimes. But, when it was so choppy as it was, you just couldn't focus on it at any point. That was kind of the sadness of it. Is like, sometimes it did look pretty, but, like, for the most part, when you were, like, cutting scenes, like, every 2 seconds, it's like, man, it's just, you can't really focus on any of the visuals in here, and it's a bummer. But, Cisco, what'd you think of this movie?
Yeah, I wasn't as like fully like negative as Tom, but I was pretty mixed and negative on it, honestly. Like, and I'm a huge fan of the video games too, so I just felt like they couldn't even get the basics right, which was my main problem with it. Like, at the very least, like Mortal Kombat, the early video games barely had any story. It was just like, these are a bunch of fighters and they have a tournament. And this movie couldn't even get that right. Yeah. And I was like,
because again, like, that's fine. Just understand your
story
audience,
of like almost every single game is that there's a tournament. Is like, that's like the main story, and they couldn't even get that right. And it was just like, and the problems were just like, as basic as that was, they just kept piling from that, like, of just basic story problems and character problems. The new character Cole Young that they created for this movie was just a nothing character. Could not care less about him. He had the charisma of a rock, is what I said in my review on Saturday on Stereo. You can go look that up.
Let me ask you a question, because I mentioned this
yesterday as well, and we both did not care for him either.
Cisco, let me ask you a question really quick. No, just because I mentioned this to Sammy, let me ask you if you noticed this too. Did Cole Young's girlfriend, or what was it, girlfriend, wife? Who cares?
I think it was his wife.
Wife, okay. Did she look like she was like 20 years older than him? Like, it bothered me this whole movie. She looked like way older than he did.
They were so like inconsequential. The movie, honestly, I just forgot about what they looked like. To be honest, like.
But I'm just saying, like,
I forgot like most of this movie, and I just watched it last Wednesday.
But I will say, like, for a core relationship in the movie, like, they had no chemistry on screen whatsoever. It was terrible. But anyway, go ahead.
We hate to see it.
No chemistry. He was like, I thought like a lot of the powers were lame that they got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they kind of built up and to replace the tournament style, which is just like, it's so. Speaking of Oscars just ruining basic stuff, like the structure of the Oscars is just like, that's great. That's how you do it. It's like the structure of a tournament style is just as easy. It's like Karate Kid. It's like, you see the main guy who you want to win go through round by round and win the basic fights, and then it's like a grand finale. That's inherently, that's just like, it's amazing. It's like good storytelling just to have a tournament, and they did it without that. The beginning and end scenes, like, I think, Dom, you agree with me, like, were the best fights, or at least like the ending scene you said you liked.
I thought the beginning one was a little bit choppy. I thought it was one of the better ones in the beginning, but it was still very choppy to me. But the ending, I thought, was probably the best part of the movie. Still couldn't save it though.
My main point is Scorpion and Sub-Zero are like the fan favorite characters. They have them, they tease them at the beginning, and throughout most of the movie they don't really do anything until the very end, and I hated that. It's like, it felt like it cheapened it for the fans.
For sure,
we got cheated from seeing those people, because that's such a famous like beef that they have in the games, and it's like, if you didn't play the games and had none of that context, I feel like I might have even liked this a little bit more, because I play the games and I have all this going in, but I was just like imagining it from like someone that doesn't play the games and has no context for any of this, I'm like, this would probably look like, or this would be terrible to people, because like I'm just going into it like, oh, that fatality is from the game,
right?
Like, or oh, that character does that move a lot. Like I'm bringing in those type of things, which is just fan service, like pure fan service. But like other than that, they really didn't bring anything to the table. And like, so aside from the action and the gore, which like I did appreciate that, like a hard R gore fest, which I like, that's the one thing that I will give this one over the 95 version, which I prefer pretty much really, across the board.
Let me ask you this, you really thought the blood looked good in this? I thought it looked horrible every time. I thought it looked horrible.
I see so many bad horror movies where the CGI blood is really bad, so it didn't bother me like it did for you, honestly.
It was better than some of those, I'll give you that. I mean, but still, it was pretty bad to me. Like
CGI blood really does bother me most of the time, but for this one, I don't know. It's just, it felt like it matched the over-the-topness of what you need for a Mortal Kombat movie. And like, I think what part of the problem is, I don't think you can adapt Mortal Kombat into a live-action film. I said this in my other reviews too. It's just like it's such a bloody and violent and gory property that like, to see that in live action, I feel like people would be turned off by it, or like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's too, that's why you play the game, just to do that over the top stuff. And then in this one, it doesn't feel earned. And I recommend Scorpion's Revenge. That's an animated Mortal Kombat movie they made last year, because they go full gore, blood in like every single fight scene and stuff like that, people getting their heads chopped off, and it's like, it works in an animated format, in a video game format, but for a movie, I don't think you can do it. Even the original, which is like a kind of a guilty pleasure for me, it's PG-13, and they didn't have that. They captured pretty much everything else I liked about the game, like the characters, the one-liners of like, finish him, fatality. They have some of those in here too, but it didn't feel as earned, like I said, because the characters, you don't care about them, so like they're killing characters off. I'm like, couldn't care less. Like, it was just the villain. There was barely even like a villain that was like, the villain in the Shang Tsung in this one is like way worse. All the characters that were from the original to this one were a downgrade, in my opinion. It was like Shang Tsung looked bad and was worse of a villain. Who else? Liu Kang. This guy looked like a shrimp. Like, if you look at the original guy who played Liu Kang, he was shredded. He looked like Jackie Chan in his prime. This guy was like six-pack, like pumped. And then you go to this new Liu Kang, and he looks like a teenage kid. And it's like, it's like, did you guys even like pay attention to just basic casting? And like, it felt like there was so many problems with this movie. They just could not get it together. It felt like 3 different movies they tried to cram into this one mess of a movie with some cool action and gore. Like, I'll give it that. But like, and then to tease into a sequel, which I heard I kind of overheard you guys talking about, so that's not really a spoiler, but I was like, that's bullshit. You got to establish your own movie first before you tease to a sequel. That's just, again, basic movie 101. Like, don't get ahead of yourselves. Make a good movie first, and they did not do that.
And if you wanted to do a sequel where you were like, okay, guys, in the sequel, we're going to do it with no tournament. We're going to try something different. That would have been one thing. But to have the first movie not have it is like, what the fuck? Like, I did not understand that at all. And the other thing that, I have a big problem with, and I'm glad you brought it up, is the cast. The cast in general was bad for the most part. There was a lot of, like, and maybe this was them trying to make it more cartoon-like, I don't know, but there was a lot of way over-the-top acting, which some of that, again, I will attribute to the vibe of Mortal Kombat, but it was bad. It was bad here.
The only actor and character I liked was Kano.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him because of his dialogue, not the acting so much. It was his dialogue that bothered me every time.
I feel like he knew that he was working with some cheesy shit, and he was trying to make the best of it. You know what I mean? Like, he was selling these bad lines as best as he could.
Yeah, but you know what the problem was with that?
At least that actor is doing what he can with this shitty material.
Maybe, but you know what the problem was with his character that annoyed the hell out of me was, that thing, and I think Sammy will know what I'm talking about here, where there's like this really intense moment, and then a character comes in with the joke, and then like that intense score like just stops so the character can make the joke. They did that about 100 times with Kano, and I hated that. Like, every single time they did that, I felt like.
And you know how they solved
they were all flat.
You You know how they solve this problem? Johnny Cage, who they like, you know, supposedly he's gonna be in the sequel. He's the wisecracking hero that people love in the video games.
Right.
And to like leave him out of this movie,
right,
just to like shamelessly try and tease him for the sequel was just like, no. Fuck you. Make your own movie first. I can't believe people gave me so much shit for Godzilla vs. Kong, like liking that one.
Yeah.
And then are praising this.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It makes no sense to me. Like Godzilla vs. Kong is hundreds of millions of dollars of effects on the screen.
Yeah.
Giant set pieces that look amazing. They look gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you have this low budget, choppy action stuff, which like some of it I like, but like to compare the two is like one is just way superior to the other. I'm sorry. Like it just is. And so I really don't understand. My co-host Edwin on Saturday was like going to bat for this. I don't understand what he saw in this because he's always trashing blockbuster movies. And I'm like, so the fact that you like this one is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what you
Terrible.
saw in this one, man.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't recommend this one. I said this too, like the other reviews I did. I recommend the 95 movie. I recommend all the video games, and I recommend Scorpion's Revenge. And then if you really are a super fan after that, then maybe watch this movie if you're really that bored. But this is like the last thing you should be doing if you want to get into Mortal Kombat. This is not representative of the franchise as a whole. And that sucks to me because I feel like this could turn people off, and it is a good, like, to me, what makes Mortal Kombat, why I like it so much, I know people like Tekken and Street Fighter and stuff like that, other fighter games.
Right.
I'm a horror fan, so I really do like the gore and the creative kills, and when I watch a horror movie, that's something I look for. And when I play the games, like, the creators put so much attention into those kills, it's almost like laughable. Like when I play it, it's so funny because it's like they went so elaborate on this kill. It's hilarious.
Right.
Like, but that's what makes it fun. Is like you not only beat somebody, you like rip their spine out and then slap them over the head with it. It's like that crazy, and it's like, and they don't do that in this movie.
No, they don't have any of that here. No,
which is what made me mad.
It's not fun. That's the problem. Like the action isn't fun. It's funny because it's so bad, but from time to time, but it's not fun in the sense of like the way the Mortal Kombat games were fun. And again, I'm one of the more casual Mortal Kombat fans. I said this last night, and that's coming from me, who's very casual on these games. I've played them and I've had fun with them, and I know the vibe of them, and I get what it's supposed to be, but it's like still, even coming from a casual guy, I understand that this movie messed up in so many places. And good luck making sense of this plot, by the way. That's another thing. Like good luck making sense of that. The story in the video games is not great. Like they've never been known for the story. No,
but I felt like I was gonna give them at least like points just for getting a tournament, and they couldn't even do that.
Right.
It was like you failed on a basic plot level of what this video game. It's like, let's make the Tetris movie and there's no blocks in it or whatever. Like what other movies talk about video game movie? Let's do Rock of Sock and Robots, and let's not have them
fight each other. Yeah,
like, right. Wait, what?
Yeah.
It was
exactly
random.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
People love it though. People love it. My cousin, I'm fighting with him right now on Facebook.
It's all subjective. It's all subjective. What's next?
Subjective.
We deserve better. We deserve better.
But honestly, the people deserve good things.
MK fans deserve better.
Don't deserve trash. Yeah. The people do not deserve trash. That's a good point. All right, we got next up Rocky 4, the director's cut by Sylvester Stallone.
Also
now
a versus title.
Also a versus title.
Here we go.
It is indeed. It
Perfect
is
segue.
Rocky versus Drago, the ultimate director's cut.
And he also has Ultimate Cut, which is Batman versus Superman Ultimate.
Yeah.
It's hot. I'm telling you, the versus thing is hot right now.
Yeah. Versus and the director's cut, it's hot.
For sure.
It's
for sure.
Market.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for this. I mean, I want to see it. I think it's interesting that he went ahead and changed the title, but if he feels like it's more fitting, then cool. I mean, it's
better than Rocky, just Rocky 4.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it either way.
Why don't you guys speak first?
Well, I'm just saying that I'm looking forward to it in the sense I'm curious to see what he did to improve it, because I do actually, people will kill me. I have a lot of problems with Rocky 4. Sure, it's fun. I have cheesy fun. There's cheesy fun to be had with it. But I have a lot
of the mountain.
Yeah. There's cheesy fun in there for sure, and there are some good story points that I feel like could have been paid off better in the original Rocky 4. And I know people would kill me for that. That's fine, but I'm curious to see what Stallone did here. I think it could be really good. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You take this one. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the Rocky films, right, Sammy?
I haven't. No, I've seen parts of the first, seen most of the first one, and that's about it.
Yeah, like I've talked about it on the show before. Like I'm a huge fan of the franchise.
Yeah.
So I take this stuff very seriously just because I'm a fan of this shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like when I heard this news, I was kind of like Rocky 4 is the cheesy fun one of the franchise. Like,
yeah.
That's the one where it's like they have a lot of fans because there is like stuff that's just like so 80s and so of the time, like just montages.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 10 montages in that movie. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I recognize that.
Mostly montages. And so when he said that he was gonna make a new cut of it and like the robots going out of it, like we're not keeping that in there. I'm like, well, people like that movie because the robot and the just happy birthday Polly robot.
I don't know. I hated the robot. The robot.
There's bad stuff in it, but it's like it's such a cluster of just like mixed 80s elements. Like the only reason they had the robot in there is because robots were hot in the 80s. Everyone wanted an alien and a robot in a movie. Mm-hmm. And so they put that in there. So to me, I like the whole package. And I didn't think he needed to fuck with this one. I was still kind of curious, but then like I watched the trailer in that article link, and it's literally just like Sly Stallone in a studio by himself, being like,
"Oh yeah,
well, with the pandemic, I really couldn't do anything, so I thought I'd go back into the Rocky 4 archive and see what I could mix with it." I'm like, no. That's not a good excuse because you were bored during the pandemic to mess with this movie. I mean, I'm gonna see it. Either way. And then as far as the name change goes, that's like the main thing of the article. It's like, again, I'm a simple man. You have Mortal Kombat put in a tournament. You have a Rocky or a Creed movie. The title is Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Rocky Balboa, Creed 2. And then now we're gonna have Rocky versus
Drago.
It's just weird. It's awkward. I mean, I guess it's still their names, but then it's like, and then the ultimate director's cut, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna see it out of curiosity and because I love the franchise, but like, this just feels like George Lucas, like, well, we didn't have the technology back then, so I'm just gonna, add whatever I want.
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, it's all marketing is what it is. I mean, it's just to let people know that this is something different, I mean, to me, like, I don't know. The only pushback I'd give you on your point is like, if you watch it and you like the original cut better, it's still there for you. I mean, you can still pop it on anytime. I mean, it's not like the original cut's going anywhere if you end up not liking this one. So that's the only pushback I would give you on your point. But
I mean, true, but we also have like, the the redone versions of the George Lucas originals, and it's like, those are the main ones now. It's like, I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not too, because that, like you said, there's a lot of people that are fans of that, original cut, and I hope that they do keep that there. I'm sure they will. I don't think that Stallone's going to go that far with that. I think that there's things he wants to fix. Definitely stuff he didn't like.
One change I will say I'm interested in though of that article was that he said that the Apollo versus Dolph, what's his name? I keep forgetting his Dolph Lundgren's character.
Yeah.
But like his character name in there. It's Rocky versus what?
Drago. Ivan Drago. Yeah.
Ivan Drago. Yes.
Yeah. It's that fight is going to be a lot longer, and so I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be cool. I hope. And who knows, man? You can watch this and like it better. It's possible. It is possible. True. So let's see what happens. I mean,
I still like the robot that Paulie has, and is like, it's like implied that he has sex with it, and. Says happy birthday Paulie to him. I'm probably gonna miss that, honestly.
Yeah, I did hear a rumor. Now this is cool because I did hear a rumor about this that I don't know how true this is, that there is actually footage from back then where Apollo did have a son, so I wonder if he incorporates it. So that'd be cool. I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is. Again, I just heard it.
That would tie in beautifully to the franchise.
Be very cool if that happened.
Yeah. This isn't in Creed 2. That's Drago's son.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
I know that.
What's next?
So next up, we have Captain America 4 is officially happening. Marvel Studios confirmed that Malcolm Spellman, along with Dallin Mousson, I believe is pronouncing his name, who was a staff writer on The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, will be co-writing the script together, and that's pretty much all the news we have. And then Anthony Mackie, of course, will be returning to play the Captain America. It's official. It's happening. Yeah. I'm stoked. I mean, we haven't really talked about it that much, but I really enjoyed that Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. It wasn't my favorite. Like, I didn't love it, but overall, I like where we ended. I like the spot where we were at when it ended, and I'm excited for the future.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for Captain America 4.
Yeah.
And like we said, we were like, I was like, they could do a season 2, but what, are they gonna change the title? And they did. Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Which I kind of loved. I was like, that's kind of iconic. I love that.
I'm not even gonna bother with my opinion on that finale. Yeah.
Not a fan?
Oh, I loved it. That's why I'm not gonna bother,
okay.
because I have 2 against 1 again. But no, I loved it. I thought it was excellent. But yeah, the as far as Captain America 4 goes, yeah, I'm excited. I think this is cool. I don't know. Then again, though, I mean, let me say this: I don't mind them doing like another movie, but I also hope that they do a second season, or like a season of Captain America and the Winter Soldier as well. I told Cisco yesterday I would rather have the TV stuff than the movies. I think that you could develop characters so much further in TV than in film. If they make stuff as good as, or what was as good to me as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I ended up loving it, then I think that I want more of the TV stuff, because to me, like, the messages they were able to get across through the finale, the amount of emotions that I felt throughout this finale, for me again, I can't get that out of a movie usually, so I really think that they I think that they should continue with the TV stuff. Not that I mind them doing movies, I think they should, but that's just the one point I would make, is I hope that they don't like quit doing this show, because there's a lot of intriguing stuff you could do on streaming as well with it. So that's the point I'd make. But yeah, anyway, Cisco, what do you got?
Yeah, like, I was kind of mixed overall on this season, and pretty negative on the finale. Like, I think I said yesterday, like, it might be my least favorite episode, honestly. I don't know. Wow. The last 2 I feel like didn't really land as much as the other ones, but yeah, but like, I knew, like, once they announced this, I was like, so this was basically like the platform to try and spin off into a movie, and they're gonna try and kind of play with this, which I don't mind either, because that's kind of like, that's the comic book format. That's what they did with the post-credit scenes, is like, that's how comics are. They all tie together in Feige's whole universe that he has planned out. We all trust in Feige. So I'm excited to see what they do. I personally prefer the movies over the TV shows. I mean, we only have 2 examples so far, with WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier. So there's plenty of other new TV shows that's coming that I'll give a chance, and hope that I fall in love with them. But I liked WandaVision, and I was mixed on Falcon Winter Soldier, and but yeah, it's like, I like Captain America though as a name. I think the Captain America trilogy is my favorite of all of the name superhero trilogies in the MCU. And so I hope they don't mess up the 4th one. I always get nervous about this. I mean, it's got a bad track record in the past with Jason Bourne 4, Indiana Jones 4. Whenever there's trilogies and I'm like, the trilogy is perfect, it always doesn't go my way. And so I don't know, I'm nervous, but I do like what they did with Anthony Mackie's character in it, and I think they can build that further in the movie. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Cool. Sammy?
I mean, yeah. Again, I'm just really excited. I
liked his suit, by the way. I do want to point that out.
Love the suit.
I hope
suit
that
was cool.
He wears that again. Other than like the mask part.
Right, which I agreed with you on that. I agreed on that. Yeah.
That was kind of like corny looking, but like, as far as the white, like, I was thinking about this. Is there any other superhero who wears like white? That's rare, right? That's rare as hell.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah.
I couldn't think of any, and so that's why I was like, it felt like very it like popped to me. So now I was like, that's rare, and it was like a night scene. It was a night scene, and then when he's like flying, you could see him clearly because it was white. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That just reminded me. So, Disneyland reopened today, in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And they had this whole. They put like a thing on their on the Disney Parks TikTok, of just like showing little new stuff that they have. And
Yeah.
there's a whole like, and I know this area. I know very. I've been to Disneyland many times. I know exactly where this is. There's this whole like Avengers kind of area that they put up this whole like. It's the Captain America shield, but then the Falcon wings are coming out of it, and it's like a photo op area. And I was like, oh, that is sick. But
That's
also, I was
sweet.
like, spoiler alert, that aired on Friday, my guys. Like, give the people a chance.
They don't have any faith in the internet. I don't really blame them either. I got his suit spoiled
like,
before the
know.
episode. It was I was mad. But what are you gonna do?
It was so cool though. It was like Captain America though. It was like the Captain America area, but it was just so cool that it was.
And his
like,
suit in the comics
Sam
is white
Wilson,
too.
though.
So me and my brother had predicted that that's what was gonna be his suit was gonna be white, which is like it was red, white, and blue, but mostly white. So we did like that it was white though.
Mm-hmm. I like it too. Mm-hmm. It's a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Yes,
I really like it. Yeah, no, I'm hyped. I can't wait for this movie.
Yeah. Cool news I want to interject with here, guys. I had heard this earlier because I wanted to talk about this anyway, kind of, but I had heard this rumor earlier in the week. I didn't know it was true, and I just kind of looked it up just to see.
I got one too that I want to talk about after this one, but I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead. It might be the same one.
Anyway, yeah, so I didn't know, and apparently this has been confirmed. I just looked it up on a whim, because I kept hearing this today. But yeah, this is true, actually. Okay, so Star Wars The Bad Batch debuts with a 70-minute special episode. Their pilot is going to be 70 minutes long.
Wow.
Crazy cool. But yeah,
that was longer than any episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, any WandaVision episode, any Mandalorian episode. That's insane.
I don't know. It gets me pretty hyped. I was hyped already, but yeah, you guys are going to be checking out Bad Batch here. It's coming right around the corner next week. So
I don't think I am, just because I'm watching the Clone Wars right now, and I don't really want to go that ahead.
Yeah.
So maybe not for me, but I want to.
If I watch it first, then I'm like, you can still watch this. Would you watch it then? Okay. Yeah.
I would at least watch the first one. If you were like, that 70-minute first episode was incredible and you don't have to know anything
right,
else,
right.
I'd probably watch it.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I probably will, because you said based on the trailer you don't think that.
I really don't.
It would add to it, but you said like I could go in blind. So
I think so.
I'm probably gonna watch the whole season, and then if I really dig it, I'll probably go back.
Yeah. I heard something today. I could say that, like, I don't know how true it is again, but what I heard today, and I don't want to say it on the off chance that it is. If anything, it's just gonna add more to the Mandalorian storyline, if anything. So that's something that I'll say. But
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I love Mandalorian.
Yeah,
so that makes me even more excited.
Which, don't get me wrong, Clone Wars adds a lot to the Mandalorian story too. But this
even the sliver I've got of it so far, I'm like, it does. It ties into Mandalorian for sure.
For sure. Yeah. But this is supposed to like really set up some stuff. So like from what I hear, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. It should be cool. What was your thing, Cisco?
So this is just big news just because of the name involved, because I was actually like really hating and like hoping this would not happen, but then they have an actor attached to it, and now I'm like, okay, like now I'll give it a chance, because this is like, okay, but so Another Round, which just won the Oscar for Best International Film.
I know about this.
I personally felt like could have been nominated for Best Picture, but international films, that's another thing
this is what I think it is. I have a rant coming.
They don't do Best Picture for international films. Like Parasite was like the exception, which I loved, but I do hope they put more international. But anyways, I loved Another Round. I thought it was great. I thought Mads Mikkelsen was great, and the first thought I had after I saw it was, I hope America does not remake this, because I just feel like this is just it's a great movie. And then when a lot of people like a great international movie, America's like, let's remake it and let's do it without subtitles, because Americans don't like to read subtitles. But Leonardo DiCaprio is attached to play the Mads Mikkelsen role in America, and so he's one of my top actors.
Yeah, come on.
So I'm really excited for that alone. He played an amazing drunk in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, I'm a lot higher than a lot of people about his performance in that. Like, he honestly could have won the Oscar for that, and I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
Because he was just that good. And every time I watch it, I find something else new about his performance in that.
Right.
Like, So I think it's like my co-host really loves that movie too, Edwin, and he's like kind of, I can tell, we haven't talked about it yet. We just talked about the news, but I can tell he's like very skeptical about it and how America is gonna treat it, because it is true though. America has a different look about alcohol. That's what the movie's about, by the way, is alcoholism. And Americans do have a very different relationship with alcohol than they do in Denmark. So it's like it is going to be it is going to be a different tone. I don't know if it's going to capture the same tone. It's a very unique tone in that movie. And the ending, I don't want to spoil it, but the ending is like probably my favorite ending of 2020. And I don't know how Leo can pull that off. Honestly, that's all I'll say is I don't know how Leo could do it. But like I said, I'm excited for him to play it either way. But I just nervous, but excited to see Leo take on a meaty role like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say my quick thing because I don't really have much of an opinion on this. I'll be honest with you, and then I'll let Sammy rant. But Sammy, before we go, are we reading that Mike Zero story?
No, I did not have it pulled up.
Okay.
Which one are you talking about?
The Ray, Keira Knightley.
Oh yeah, the Keira Knightley, that whole thing. Yeah. I did not pull that one up, but I will right now.
Let's close with that. But anyway,
we have a couple others though before that one.
Skip those because we're short on time, but I want to close with the Mike Zero thing. We'll get to the other two next week or whatever it is. But anyway, so this anyway, sorry about that. I haven't seen another round yet, it's kind of hard for me to judge it, as far as that goes. But I mean, I kind of like I get upset when movies get Americanized too, or like when they feel like we need to Americanize it. But that said, it's like it's Leo. What do you do? It's like it's like you kind of gotta watch it though too. But I do plan to fully kind of watch this.
It's on Hulu for everybody.
Yeah,
it's great.
I plan to watch this version very soon. I've heard nothing but great things. I mean, I know sometimes we disagree, Cisco, but I fully do trust your opinion. I mean, I trust your recommendations on things, so
it's worth it for the ending alone. I'm telling you, that's like one of the only times. I mean, Promising Young Woman comes close as just like an electrifying ending, but like, God, dude, the ending of Another Round is just so sweet.
Anyway, Sammy, what's your thing?
So, I mean, I'm gonna change up what I was gonna say, but stop it. That's what I was gonna say. America, you need to stop. You need to stop, honey. You need to sit down. It's not always about you, sweetheart. You need to sit down sometimes. Take a breath and let somebody else make a movie.
There's some bad American remakes out there. I will say that,
Some really
Old Boy,
ones.
i.e. Old Boy.
But I will say, I do just want to talk about real quick that another one that we were going to talk about that let's say quick things is that the West Side Story finally had a trailer. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Yeah,
that
it's pretty short, so it's not like a lot.
Oh, it's just the trailers. It's just the trailers. I'll tell you what. Let's just kind of group these in one story. Then we can get to them. Then just group those into like how did we think the Oscar trailers were?
About either, so it'll be short.
Group it into one. Group it into one. Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So the other one is the In the Heights trailer that both of these did premiere during the Oscars. And when at the beginning I was like, guys, when the West Side Story trailer starts, like I'm muting all of you because I'm paying attention.
And she did.
To that.
And you did.
And I did. And I literally
the son of a
cried.
bitch.
I had tears in my eyes. Rachel Zegler.
She'll never know what we
Maria.
said about her while she had us muted.
I know, honestly, it's fine because I got to see Rachel Zegler just be stunning. Like that was really what made me cry. Was seeing Rachel Zegler look just so stunning and so perfectly placed in this movie. I think it's gonna be really good. And I say that being West Side Story is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I grew up on that movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. I'm obsessed with it and I hold it very, very dearly to my heart. And saying that, I think this movie's gonna be really good. The trailer, I was like, that's West Side Story. I didn't see anything in that trailer that did not read West Side Story to me. I think it's gonna be really good. I love the cast. I love how diverse it is. It feels like it's really kind of righting a wrong in cinematic history and the fact that the original cast of the movie West Side Story was not as diverse as we like to think it was. That was a lot of makeup on a lot of people. But in this version, it is actually a lot of Puerto Rican cast, a lot of Latina cast.
I did notice that Puerto Rican flag in there.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. And
right.
a lot of like immigrant pride and Puerto Rico pride.
Puerto Rico, shout out.
Yeah. Puerto Rico. Viva la Puerto Rico. I'm Mexican myself, but I still support.
Me too.
All the Latinos.
But
all the
I still
Latinos
love my Boricuas out there too.
Love my Puerto Ricans, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so hyped for this movie. Like I could cry. This is one of my most anticipated movies. This was one of like the biggest heartbreaks of last year when it got pushed back a whole year to this year. But we're getting it. It looks so good. Can't be more excited.
Aren't you glad you're gonna see it in a theater though?
I mean, yeah, I really do hope.
Yeah.
I'm praying to God. Hopefully, I feel like by December. It comes out December, so like.
Yeah.
There's a very good shot that I'll be able to see this in a theater.
I think so. It's Spielberg too. He's against the streamer.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff.
Yeah. But then our other one was In the Heights, which is another musical movie that I'm so hyped for. It looks so good. I can't get more excited. I would watch this movie right now if I had it in front of me.
I know.
And, I'm just so hyped for both. I just couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, listen, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm more excited for In the Heights. Oh, am I still muted here? No, hold on. No, I'm not. I'm good.
No, we can hear you, bro.
Okay, great. Sometimes I'm muted on the OBS end though, and you guys can still hear me. But anyway, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
but anyway, so the one thing I'll say is, I mean, I'm more excited for In the Heights. Not only am I a huge Lin-Manuel Miranda fan, I mean, I love
the other Latinos.
Yeah, I mean, two great musicals with Puerto Rican representation. That's awesome. You know, or hopefully great musicals. But you know, the thing is yeah, I mean, John M. Chu, I loved what he did with Crazy Rich Asians, so I'm definitely just more inclined to watch this.
I own that one.
Yeah,
it's
amazing. Incredible film. Incredible film. Yeah,
I hold that movie very close to my heart. It's just like, is it so good?
And Spielberg, I mean, I'm also a massive fan of. But that said, I don't like necessarily expect like the classic Spielberg that I'm more into anymore. But that said, this trailer did give me vibes for like some of that classic Spielberg. I hope we get that. It will be a musical form, but it did give me some of those vibes of some of that like classic Spielberg that I loved. They were
like,
great.
What I was thinking of is the Jets and the Sharks walking towards each other, and it's an aerial shot, so you see their shadows like combine.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. No, for sure.
Art. That is artistic photography.
Spielberg,
that is
man.
creative, thoughtful photography.
I hope this is the best film he's done in a long time. I really am rooting for it to be that, and it could be. And that I think it has that potential of anything he's done lately.
Ready Player One was just a few years ago, so I mean that was great. So
you think so? Come on, Sammy, let's get him. Two against one. Let's get him.
Yeah, here we go. Your turn. Your turn to get ganged up on.
Love it. I'll
Barry didn't hate it. Didn't hate it, but definitely don't like it. But didn't hate it.
Oh, I really don't like it. I think it's terrible.
I got that one as well.
But anyway.
I had the book and I got rid of the book.
Anyway.
I did a big move and I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. But I was like, I don't want this book. It brings me zero joy.
Anyway, all I'll say is the last thing I wanted to mention is In the Heights as Jimmy Smits. So, there you go. Cisco, Jimmy Smits is in The Heights.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Who?
Bale Organa from Star Wars.
Not ringing a bell.
He's the one that sings "Good Morning, Usnavi," whoever that character is. Jimmy Smits.
You know who he is.
Yeah, Jimmy Smits.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
He's a veteran actor.
Okay.
He's amazing. Come on.
The faces, I remember faces a lot better than names. The faces are connecting in my brain.
That's what I'm saying. If you know, he's in the trailer.
Yeah.
If I had to see his face, yes.
Anyway, Cisco, what was your opinion on the trailers?
Have never seen the original West Side Story.
Yeah.
I know. But
I think it's on Hulu. Watch it. Oh,
okay,
so
but I'm not a huge musical person, so that's like the explanation.
It's one of the best, though.
But I will be watching it before the new one comes out for sure. I will watch it before that comes out. I love Spielberg. He's my guy. And so I was a little nervous. I didn't know it's a remake. You know what I'm saying? They're like a classic movie. I don't think he's ever done a remake before, but it's Spielberg. Like it's like the Leo thing. It's like I usually he does stuff that I like. So I'm gonna watch it, and then In the Heights, man, they did release a new trailer, but they've had trailers before. And that first trailer that dropped, I watched it like so many times. It's just like every time I watch it, it makes me feel good that they're gonna be like you said, like actual representation of Latino life, and you know, not just be like some like sad story of like the struggles of being a Hispanic in America, or like, you know, we're trying to get across the border. Like, it's like, no, it's like, this is just our life, and we're dancing and
we're
singing
here,
and
this is our
actually
life.
happy.
Yeah.
And like, I want to see that. It, like, the cast is looks incredible, and it looks fun. And yeah, Crazy Rich Asians, that was such a fun, and like, I loved how they handled you know, Asian representation in that as well. So I'm excited for both. Probably more about In the Heights, but you know, like I said, I'm still gonna see both.
All right, Sammy,
So,
this last story I want you to read in its entirety. And I want to preface this by saying this is clearly false news, folks, but I have something I got to say about this. But please go ahead, Sammy.
Okay, and I haven't read this. I didn't look into this.
Read this whole article in its entirety.
So.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. I just skimmed them, like, how long is this? We'll see, but let's go. All right. After the events of The Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars fans have been excited to find out what happened to Rey after she denounced her Palpatine bloodline. The heroine, who was played by Ridley, announced she was taking on the surname Skywalker to honor her mentors Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa. YouTuber Mike, was it Zero?
Mike Zero.
Zero has now suggested Ridley will not be returning to the franchise in an upcoming Disney Plus TV series that focuses on Rey's next story. The information Zero revealed ought to be taken with a grain of salt. However, as not every piece of Star Wars intel he has provided has been 100% correct. The fan commentator recently delved into the future of the series, which supposedly includes a reboot of the series following The Rise of Skywalker. He said the next part of Rey's story will be told in an animated TV series, which will use advanced CGI, similar to that seen in the Star Wars video games, The Old Republic and Battlefront 2, and will retcon some of the aspects of The Rise of Skywalker, including why she took the Skywalker name. However, Zero said Ridley will not reprise her role as the voice or likeness of Rey, and will instead be replaced by Keira Knightley for the animated outing. Knightley is best known for playing Elizabeth Swann in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. We know this. She has also made a small part in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, as Padme's decoy. Zero said the concept of Rey Skywalker will be changed dramatically in this series, with many aspects of her character being rewritten. He said in a video which was released earlier this month, Daisy will be replaced as Rey Skywalker in the planned sequel series, where Lucasfilm has chosen Keira Knightley to lend her voice work and facial scans to portray the character of Rey in animated form. Daisy wants nothing to do with Star Wars anymore, since she herself had issues with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. That is a quote, I guess, from his video. It is important to note Ridley has never publicly said anything negative about Miss Kennedy. The actor also said last year said or made her thoughts about a potential return to the Star Wars universe clear.
Okay.
Ridley told one more.
All right, you're good.
Ridley told Empire, I mean, never say never, but I'm always open to a revisit. But also the beautiful thing is that it's a wonderful, huge universe with all these wonderful stories yet to be told. I think there's a lot of cool things to be made for any potential revisits. That's about it. He has Zero requested, said that Knightley was requested from Bob Chapek personally, and that Jon Favreau wants to give a legitimate reason why Rey left herself the Skywalker name. End of article.
Okay.
This is BS.
Listen, I'm assuming neither of you two are familiar with Mike Zero.
Not at all.
I'm assuming he has a history, but I am not.
Oh, yeah. History that's tended to affect my personal life as of the last couple of years. Okay, guys, listen. I'm ready to just say this shit because I
Call off, bro.
Again, dude, I don't like to get my kicks from talking about I don't like to get my kicks from talking about other YouTubers or other content creators. I really don't. You guys know this, but this is something that it's pissing me off. This is like the last straw. This is what's happening every single time Mike Zero puts out a new video. I get about 6 text messages in the mornings from, people saying, oh, look what's happening. Look what's going to happen. And every freaking video Mike Zero puts out, it's along the lines of something like this. And listen, Mike Zero, I want to point this out because I want to make sure that this is said. Mike Zero is a fantastic content creator. I want to make sure I say that. He is. He's a really good content creator. Go watch one of his videos. He's good. He edits his videos well. He is very well. He speaks very well. He's a really fantastic content creator. And I used to listen to Mike Zero before the release of Last Jedi. I hate to, play the name game, but I think Mike Zero ruined a lot of things for Lucasfilm, and I'm not saying Lucasfilm's done everything right, but, like, Mike Zero is a big culprit of why Lucasfilm and fans are the way that they are. Mike Zero, when The Last Jedi was coming out, I'm going to give you a good example, okay? And this was back when Mike Zero was a better YouTuber, in my opinion, as far as his content being good. To me, what Mike Zero used to be was somebody who came up with fan theories, got fans hyped, and was just like a kind of a go-to place for Star Wars fans, and that was great. Lately, what's been happening? Well, not lately. Well, I'll get to it. Oh man, I have some gripes with Mike Zero. It is, and I'm sorry. I'm putting it here, but the show is Dom's corner as of right now. As of right now, listen. When I listen to all Mike Zero's fan theories, and this is a message to everybody out there who's sending me text messages or what DMs or whatever, asking me if Mike Zero's stuff is true, or buying into Mike Zero stuff. When I listened to Mike Zero before The Last Jedi, I bought into a lot of his fan theories, and I think that a lot of other people did too. And I think that's a lot of what ruined the fan expectation for Last Jedi. You could call me crazy, but look at Mike Zero's channel. He is one of the biggest Star Wars YouTubers out there. Why? I don't know. Again, he's a great content creator. Again, like, as far as his presence on the screen, his editing, all that is great.
Mike Zero, is that like his birth name? Is that like?
I couldn't answer that.
What a loser.
And listen, I remember I commented on one of Zero's videos a long time ago. I was
Mike
like,
Zero, you're my hero.
I was like, I asked him a question about back when that Star Wars Underworld stuff was going on, if he thought that was something that could still be a thing. You know what Mike Zero did? Good on him. I woke up the next morning and Mike had made a whole video on it just based on my comment. So I think that there's a lot of good qualities to this dude. He might be a very nice guy. But I'm saying, I went to see The Last Jedi.
Lies.
And I think a lot of the reason The Last Jedi was so jarring to me, and I loved the movie and I loved it when I saw it, but I think I've even told Sammy this. I spent all night, I didn't sleep that night, trying to rack my brain around what the hell I just saw, and I think a lot of that reason was because I thought everything Mike Zero said was going to be true. It sounded legit.
Yeah.
And it was fun speculation back then. And the other thing that Mike used to do very well, to his credit, is he used to say, take this with a grain of salt, because you never know. Now he doesn't even do that. He just says this shit like it's legit. And he's giving...
It takes being burned one time by, like, trusting a content creator. Like, it takes being really burned. Because that's happened to me before, where I'm like, oh no, that person has to be right. And then the thing comes out and they're wrong, and you're just devastated.
Yeah.
Like... You do that enough, and you're like, I don't trust anybody anymore.
Yeah.
You lose all trust.
And listen, it takes content creators. This is my point, guys. It takes content creators like Mike Zero. It takes content creators like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, who I also hear is a very nice guy, by the way. It takes content creators like Ryan Cannell. Yes, I'm calling them all out. To add fuel to this stupid fire that is the fan war going on right now with Star Wars, and it's pissing me off, and I'm just tired of waking up to text messages of people going, oh look dude, they're gonna retcon Rey Skywalker. It's like, use your fucking brains and like quit listening to these content creators. This is getting ridiculous, and I'm grumpy about it. I hate to say it, but yeah, I want to invite one of you two.
Man.
I want to invite one of you two right now to please do this. Go on Mike Zero's YouTube channel. I don't care which one of you does this. Go to Mike Zero's YouTube channel. I'm not going to ask you to blast him with bad comments or anything like that. I would never do that. But go to his YouTube channel, and I want you to just start reading off his videos. And, like, the reason I want to talk to you guys about this is because you guys also have two different perspectives. You guys have different perspectives.
Zero with an H, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys have different perspectives on the sequels than I do. You know what I mean? And I want people who actually don't care for the sequels to start reading these videos and put this to rest if you think that this shit is legit or not. And the one thing I want to say is the thing that happened, by the way, this is hilarious. Go back.
The first one is Gina Carano return details to emerge, and I'm like, bro, they are not
11 hours ago.
Back.
That was 11 hours ago.
Bro.
Yeah. And,
like, bro,
and people
I like this one. It
not
says Mike.
soon.
It says Mike Zero is clickbait. This is from another guy.
That was Mike Zero clickbait was the first thing that popped up when I typed in.
Yeah.
Mike
Seems
Zero.
like a lot of people are on to him.
And you know what? I mean, this is the thing, guys. I mean, the second
Clickbait. That's what it sounds like.
Last Jedi came out, and I want you guys to go back. Not you guys, like Sammy and Cisco, but the audience who listens to this and listens to it like it's gospel. Go back. He
wants Gina Carano back an ungodly amount, like an uncomfortable amount. Like, why do you want her back so bad? Do you feel a certain way about why she left?
Yeah. These videos that people listen to like gospel, where Daisy Ridley's mad at Kathleen Kennedy, George Lucas is going to direct a recut of The Last Jedi, Kathleen Kennedy's mad at Favreau, all this stupid ass shit. This is my point. Is I invite everybody to go back and listen to Mike Zero's review of The Last Jedi. And this is why. Because he fucking loved it when he reviewed it. And you know what happened about a week later? About 10...
You wanted those clicks.
10 to 20 videos got uploaded to Zero's channel saying Rian Johnson's getting, he's never going to work in Hollywood again. Kathleen Kennedy's mad at Rian Johnson. Daisy Ridley's mad at Rian Johnson. George Lucas is mad at Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson's going to, get Kathleen Kennedy fired. Kathleen Kennedy's going to get Rian Johnson fired. All this bullshit and negativity that just adds to this toxicity. In closing here, the last thing I want to say about this story is this. I am dead fucking serious. I invite Mike Zero to come onto this podcast. If anybody sees it, come on, Mike. We're going to have a conversation.
We will take your viewers, please. We want them.
Yeah, it'll benefit us, and I want to have a real conversation with Mike Zero. And I want to. I'm not saying it'll ever happen, but if anybody can make it happen out there, get Mike Zero on this podcast. I want to have a real conversation with him. I want to ask him why he thinks it's okay to continue to add to this toxicity. And I also want to ask him if he's a real fucking genuine Star Wars fan anymore, because it doesn't seem like it. And that's what really bothers me. When he used to seem like a Star Wars fan back in the day, and he doesn't anymore, and it's pissing me off, and I'm tired of it. And that's what I want to say.
Yeah, because I feel like with the brand of just clickbait titles, like this person's fighting with this person, blah, it kind of comes off a little bit like, I found a formula that worked, and 100%. I made money from it, and no one will take that away from me, so I'll just keep doing the thing that's making me money.
300,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So
which you make a decent amount of money, and all of these have some have hundreds of thousands of views. They all at least have tens of thousands of views. And I'm like, you're making at least a little bit of a pretty penny off of that. And so if it works, it works.
Sure, but my problem is like if you are
again you're doing it for the money. You're doing it because it's what's making you famous or popular, not because you love talking about it.
Yeah, and if you have that kind of influence over people, if you have that many subscribers, you have a responsibility. Yeah. And that's what bothers me here. It's like you have a responsibility to be real and genuine with the fans. And it's he's not being. And the thing is like his fans, and some of his fans are my friends. I hate to say it anymore, but they are, and they really listen to these videos. They read his headlines like it's the gospel. And they take it to heart, and it's getting tiring because I wake up to 6 text messages. So yes, this is a little bit personal about every morning asking me about Mike Zero, and it's getting upsetting because it's like dude, you're adding fuel to this fire that doesn't need to be there. And I actually do blame him as a lot of the reason that the divisiveness started in the first place. Go back. I mean, he had a big amount of subscribers anyway back before Last Jedi came out, and he skewed fans one way. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. And then, of course, none of those things happened. And I feel like he was a big part of, why fans were upset in the first place. Myself included, not upset, but it was jarring to me to watch that movie because of, a lot of the things that Zero said were going to happen. And I promise you, a lot of those fan theories that were going around before Last Jedi got spread because of Mike Zero. I promised myself I will never call out Mike Zero on this channel, but here we are. I mean, and I've called out all the dumbasses tonight that are adding to this, and I not dumbasses, they're making more money doing YouTube than I am, but still I've called them out tonight, and I'm never going to do it again, but I've done it. I've said my piece. I just wanted to, sorry to end it so dark, but I'm just getting tired of it. I don't know. But
oh, man. Go off. I told you to go off, and you definitely went off. I know nothing of Mike Zero, man.
Yeah.
So looks clickbaity.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Anyway, guys. We're gonna end on a dark note, I guess, but that's what it is. Hey, thank you guys for joining very much. Please hit the like button below.
One thing before we go
ahead.
on the dark note?
Go ahead.
Because I forgot to mention this during the Rocky thing.
All right.
When I was reading the article, I guess there's like a prequel TV show coming that Sylvester Stallone is working on.
Yeah, I think we reported on that a little while back. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, he must be in a hella bored during the pandemic, man. I don't know.
Like, give me whatever. Bored. What you want to direct?
How many ways
cut?
can
cool.
we spin this Rocky thing?
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, thank you very much. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. Anyway, guys, Sammy, where can people find you before we go?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Sammy Ramirez14 and Twitter at Sammy Ramirez, also on Stereo at Sammy Ramirez.
All right, sounds great, and make sure you check her out wherever she's at. And Cisco, where can people find you?
All right, I got Rampage_Misfit on Twitter. Also Misfit_Minded on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Stereo, where me and Dom did a Mortal Kombat review yesterday. You can check that out. And I do a show every Saturday called Saturday Matinee. This Saturday, we are doing a double feature of His House and La Llorona. Not the Curse of La Llorona, which is like the bad one we were talking about earlier. Right. But yeah, the actual one that I heard is really good that came out last year. So yeah, that should be fun, and we're also doing our top 10 of 2020 finally this Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that episode this week. Check it out.
All right, wonderful. And yeah, guys, you can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram Dom_Martino_official. Please go follow our TikTok. It's at Anorax on TikTok, at Anorax on Twitter, at Anorax official on Twitter and Instagram as well. And I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys later.